True believers, this is Modular Media's No Prize podcast. I am your host, the ever-loving Boingo writer, and with me, as always, in the bullpen,
representing the I've been saving this until the next time we would talk about live-action DC competition. The Vacuuminator is here. Jesus Christ!
Went a little too hard for you, bud?
Little bit.
And we also have a special guest this evening, the one, the only, from the imaginative competition, Buster.
Hi, I saw this in theaters by myself, alone in the theater.
You're the only one that supports the product. Congratulations.
I thought it would be a bigger hit, but I guess
you
not.
Really got hit by the fury of the gods.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's be upfront. This movie flopped at the theaters big time, like worse than Morbius big time.
Yeah.
And it's now flopped on VOD. It was number 3 on streaming the day it released, which is not good for a new tentpole movie release.
Oh, that's
your video's
bad.
not working, bud. Your video's not working. Why is it not working?
Son of a, let me turn it off and on again. Hang on.
Yeah. There it is.
I thought it would do better on streaming. I guess people just don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I guess people are just kind of turned off to anything DC until the Gunn era actually begins.
Because, Shazam Fury of the Gods popped out onto streaming. Surprised us, at least.
Because we thought it was coming out in like 2 weeks, and then just the other day I saw a post from, I think it was Discussing Film, saying like, hey, this is releasing tomorrow, are you gonna watch it? And I was like, fuck, I guess I am.
Yeah. Hey, and guess what? We watched it together.
Yeah, we literally just got done. We just got out of our Snuggie with our bowl of popcorn on the couch, and we came over to our desks that are a couple 100 miles away from each other to record the podcast.
One of us gave the other a Dutch oven.
There might have been a little space docking going on.
But yeah, we watched Shazam Fury of the Gods. So, hey, Zach, you want to give overall thoughts first?
Okay, so I definitely don't think this is as poor in comparison to the first one as people have been making it out to be. It's all right. It's not great, but I wouldn't say the original was even great. It was just a really good, solid, fresh take on the character. And this just kind of continues on with the trend of the first one. I would say maybe the jokes aren't as strong as the first one. Like, there's a couple really good ones towards the start of the movie, and it kind of peters out with the comedy midway through, only to pick up, like, right during the third act. But that was really the biggest problem, except for maybe the score, which I wasn't paying close attention to the score in the first one, and I haven't seen the first one in quite a while. But I even said to you while we were watching it, Boingo, the score in this movie is super generic, in my opinion, and not very interesting. But I feel like the themes and the story are a pretty logical continuation of the first movie. Yeah, I'm upset they didn't go straight to Mr. Mind, but I think these villains work pretty well for the ideological problem that Billy is struggling with in this movie, and I think the cast did a great job of bringing all their characters to life with some really fun scenes here and there. And, you know, despite all the behind-the-scenes bullshit we've heard about with this film, with how Rock the Dwayne Johnson stonewalled them out of using a bunch of stuff, I think they were pretty clever about the stuff that they did use. Like, obviously, there's the big one at the end that we'll certainly talk about, but I was surprised with how natural it feels compared to what people were telling me. Overall, I think I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Buster?
I saw this in theaters. I gave it, I don't want to give number scores, but I liked it. It's kind of like dwindled down since I've seen it, like, out of the theater. But it's not like a bad movie. It's a very fun movie. It's a fine movie. Although, like, this does, I don't know, like, it's good. I like it as, like, a continuation, but the first Shazam is just, it hit way harder. And, like, I do like the expansion of the characters. Like, I like seeing Freddy get more development. I like seeing, like, Mary Marvel get some stuff there. Like, the other characters are fine. and it just like there's some fun bits. It just
It was nice that
sometimes
they actually did something with Pedro and oh god, I feel terrible. The Asian American one whose name I don't remember right now.
yeah, the guy who played a character on Riverdale. That's where I remember him from. Uh, yeah, that guy and the little girl. She's great in this. And I just I like the little probably the best scene in the film was like the bridge set piece. Just because,
Really?
yeah, like I just because I was like they're saving people, they're making jokes, and you get like the sense of like where the film is trying to go with its themes, you know, like yeah, the holding out for a hero bit was kind of cringe, but hey, just
Yeah,
apparently
that's.
three
I'm sorry, I don't mean to step on your toes. Keep going.
no, like three films this year have used holding out for a hero. One of them did it twice, and that was the Tetris movie. And I was like, what
Wow.
the hell's going on?
I mean, it's convergent thoughts of just people going like, "Oh, this is a good song. We can use it for something."
Yeah, probably.
Um,
Uh,
and I mean,
overall,
also,
I thought this was just it was a solid film. It was just released in the wrong fucking month.
yeah, and you're also the only person who hasn't seen the first one here.
Yeah.
How well were you able to keep up with things?
It is
Because you didn't ask
completely
me a
easy
ton of
to-
questions.
No, it was easy to keep up. Because they gave out the entirety of the first movie in the trailers.
Oh yeah, that's right. And they kind of did here too. Like a lot of the big jokes. The reason they didn't land for me this time around was because they were in the trailer. Whereas I think the jokes were recontextualized enough for the trailer with the first movie that they still worked within the movie itself. And maybe my opinion would change a few years removed from having seen the trailers all the time, but that's just how I feel right now.
But no, this should have been a family-friendly movie released during Christmas time for like, hey, take your kids out to the theater.
Like the first one was?
Yeah.
No,
but
the first one was also March. It was before. Oh no, it was also like April.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I just think of it being a Christmas movie because it takes place at Christmas.
Yeah,
But like this would have been
honestly,
10 times better in December.
yeah, it would have been like yeah, it probably wouldn't have made as much money as Avatar because of course nothing was gonna beat that, but it would still been like a nice compliment piece. And like, but like unfortunately, because Warner Brothers had to freaking shoot themselves in the foot and be like, what do we want to do, like Black Adam or Shazam? And The Rock forced them to do Black Adam, like as the only film they would release in
Thanks,
the holiday season.
Dwayne.
Yeah, hope that live action Moana's fine for you. Anyway, we're talking about too much.
Roman kicks his ass at the next WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, same. I don't even do wrestling, but I just hope someone kicks him.
For as mad as I am at WWE right now, make the right call, Vince and/or Dwayne. Put Roman over in that one.
Yeah.
It is disappointing, especially because all of the themes would be like 10 times resonant if Billy had the counter example of like, hey, if you keep holding on to shit, you'll turn into that fucker. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, you mentioned like halfway through of like, oh, all of this is in direct contrast to Black Adam, and it would work so much better if Black Adam was just in the movie.
Yeah.
You mean the person who is so like hell bent on holding on to the things that it was ripped away from him? Oh, perish the thought.
But I do also want to backtrack and touch on something Buster mentioned a little earlier, the whole holding out for a hero song choice. That's another big problem with this movie, I think, because I talked a little bit about the score, but the popular music in this movie also feels very tonally dissonant from the first one, because that movie chose a lot of, like, not super current, but recent enough that you could imagine actual kids being into them, and then in this movie, it's all, like, song choices from the 90s or earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say Freddie listening to Sabotage by the Beastie Boys is a bad choice.
Yeah, like, it makes sense for the scene, but I don't know if it makes sense that... I don't know if kids today listen to Sabotage regularly.
Do you listen to Sabotage, Buster?
No, I don't know who they are. Like...
What, you don't know them from the popular Star Trek open bracket 2009 close bracket movie?
I've only seen Beyond of the reboot films.
That's good, because it's actually a song from the 90s.
Okay.
It's a song from the it is from the 90s.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember
Yeah.
when it got released.
I know some music shit.
Because it wasn't in License to Ill.
Actually, speaking of tone, I think the horror dial was toned up a bit in this movie. At least
Oh
in
yeah,
certain
there's a
scenes.
lot of playing into like actual Greek mythology in this. Like all those creatures that are brought in for the third act were so well done.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
very Harryhausen, very Del Toro.
Well, so not even just that, but just more horror. Like the first film had like a good handful of horror scenes, but this one, like the first scene is a horror scene. You know, it's
Yeah.
nice little PG-13 like horror.
The whole like hypnotizing effects that the
Lucy Liu.
yeah, that Lucy Liu has. Though that scene was such like whiplash for me because at the beginning I was like, okay, this is a cool setting up the villain scene, and then like as soon as she starts hypnotizing people and people are going crazy, they cut away to a crowd shot, and there's a kid holding a flippin' '94 Saba in current year, and it looks brand new, and I was just like, what? And then 2 seconds later, they turn all the people to stone, and they tip one of them over, and they crumble into nothing, and it's CG. And I'm like, you couldn't have just casted a plaster statue for that shot?
Yeah, that's probably just more of the film industry thingy.
Mhm.
Like,
I mean, they had some practical effects through here, or at least they made them look very practical.
Yeah, the CG on the dragon was fantastic.
yeah, that was a good dragon.
The dragon bursting up through the floor of the house, that looked totally practical.
Also, can we just give hats off to that whole scene? Because that was so well executed of them getting back and hastily having to explain things to the parents.
Oh yeah.
And then getting the joke bit of we're superheroes, but Pedro just blurts out that he's gay, and everybody just goes, dude, we know. It's fine. Moving on. Like, that was great.
Yeah, I really like that scene.
I remember when you told us about that, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't imagine that you were being that literal, and I didn't imagine that the movie was going to be that unsubtle, with, like, literally in the first 10 minutes, here's a shot of him looking at a male model.
Yeah,
Not a male model, it was a baseball player, and he's just, like, getting the hot.
And, again, they actually did it. Kudos to them. I don't know how they're going to censor it for other regions. Maybe they did it. I don't know.
I mean, it's one shot and one line. You can cut around that pretty easy.
Fair.
Hi, China. How you doing?
Yeah. Or everyone else.
Don't be cowards.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, I don't know. I know multi-country guy, so...
No,
I think corporations are starting to realize that the Chinese and Russian dollar aren't as like valuable as it is like to put in the effort,
or at least aren't as safe. Because I think like certain companies have been getting a slap on the wrist from the government recently about that.
Yeah.
Oh, companies slapping on the wrist. Oh, hi, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But
how did you feel about the villains?
They're fine.
I liked them. I thought they were serviceable. But that's kind of what they were. They felt more like a vehicle for the themes and the ideas of the movie rather than interesting characters of themselves. Because they're, except for like the younger one, they're they're mostly archetypes, and even she has a little bit of that going on. And the way they play off of each other is fairly predictable, but not in like a bad way. Just in like, yes, this is how this plot should go.
Yeah, I thought they were like better than like the worst of like Marvel Phase 1 and 2 villains, but like they weren't like as good as like the best comic book movie. They're like a good, like this movie. They're 6 out of 10.
They're Ivan from Iron Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've not seen Iron Man 2 in a bit, so I don't know.
Like, they're there for the plot, to move it forward, and to be a counterpoint to the main character. That's it.
Yeah.
And to be a cool stunt casting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, like, they do some like brutal things. I think the more their action beats are more interesting than the characters themselves, because they freaking like make a guy fall, like do a suicide, and it's like, whoa. You know,
the one cool teacher. The one cool teacher.
Yeah. And they don't show it. They don't show the aftermath, but they treat it with the seriousness it deserves, which is really nice.
I mean, the actor for
Yeah.
Freddy,
He sold it.
sold it,
Yeah.
sold it well.
Yeah, Freddy in general is just really good in this movie. I'd argue he's better characterized than Shazam in this movie.
Yeah, man, I freaking love Kamen Rider Mach. Sorry, I mean Kamen Rider Beast. Sorry, I mean Kamen Rider Cross. I mean, Freddy's a good character, yes.
You mean Kamen Rider Tycoon?
He's the secondary writer of this movie.
Like his arc is very stereotypical secondary writer stuff, but it's still good.
Yeah.
And the whole element of the junior thing was cute.
Yeah, nice nod to his comic book name. Speaking of which, what great use of cameos in this movie, I think. Like, freaking getting in the guy who played Billy Batson in the 70s show to do a Captain Marvel name drop. Thank you.
That's who he was.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's even wearing the same outfit he wears in the 70s show.
Yeah.
Oh, because I know he was like, that looks like someone important when you said that, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
and then, do we have anything else about the movie in general, or can we start getting on to like specific points? Because I do want to get into these cameos before Buster has to bounce or something.
I thought
get to the cameos.
I thought it was neat that that Philadelphia was a fully character and not just a name drop. Cameos.
So let's talk about Wonder Woman. I really like how the dream sequence is done.
It also have the better scenes.
It felt like the end of Shazam 1 because I've seen that clip.
Yeah, it felt very natural with the movie's style, and because I remember, I don't know if it was Buster or somebody else. Somebody had told me that Godot was in the movie, so I was just waiting for show her face, and then when they do the wizard reveal, I was like, oh, that's great. That looks like something out of like friggin' Scary Movie, and it's hilarious. But then the actual scene where she shows up. Now, I basically have said this in several different places. I'm not a fan of Gal Gadot. I don't think she's a particularly good actress, and I don't think she's a good person. I don't think she should be playing a superhero that's meant to be an inspiration to little girls. But I think in this movie, because my only exposure to this Wonder Woman has been her cameo in Batman v Superman, her cameo in Peacemaker, and now her cameo in this, I think this is my favorite use of this Wonder Woman because they like seed it early on in the plot during the second act, and it feels like, yes, a Deus Ex Machina, but a Deus Ex Machina that's a natural part of the world and doesn't feel totally out of left field.
Yeah.
And it also pays off some character stuff for Billy.
Fair. Like, I do like that. Like, I kind of wish they just kept it at that wizard scene, just because I was like, that was a really funny use of just like, hey, you know how we did like Henry Cavill no face, like just keeping that trend. Like, just having her just kind of like, not only did it just make me upset, but it just kind of felt like a bit cheap, like, and like, you're kind of undermining your jokes.
I will say, I do really hate that when she comes on screen, they feel the need to play her theme song.
Also, because that just does not feel like what Wonder Woman should have.
Yeah, I like that piece of music. I don't like it as Wonder Woman's theme song.
Yeah, it's too action. It's too metal.
Wonder Woman's theme shouldn't be like an action, we're gonna kick ass kind of thing. It should be something with a little more majesty and a little more, I don't know, fucking wonder in its sound.
Wonder.
I don't mind if that's like, here's the thing. Wonder Woman's theme should have like 3 parts. One is just the pure wonder, one is just the pure battle, one is the combination of both, because that's what Wonder Woman is. She is a strong, powerful character who is kind and is gentle.
Mm-hmm. And then the post-credit scene with Economos and what's her name, James Gunn's wife. Yeah, that felt really thrown together.
Oh yeah.
They literally walk in a forest, and it's like, oh yeah.
Just went out somewhere and filmed.
It's cute enough. It's cute enough. And I
it
like
really
those
feels
two...
like, yeah, their interaction is spot on. I would not be surprised if James Gunn wrote their dialogue in that scene.
That also kind of makes me lean towards maybe James Gunn is going to try and like Thor 3 Shazam. like Ragnarok Shazam, you know what I mean?
Like, get a new director in and do a very different tone, but still keep the cast and the continuity.
Yeah.
I could be down for that.
I'm not sure if I'd like that because I really like David S. Sandberg like doing
Mhm.
things. So
You
Well-
know what he should do? He should stick around. He should be like Webb is doing for Marvel or the Russos have done for Marvel.
I can agree with that sentiment, guys, but like, just to give a little reality, the guy said in interviews after the reaction to Shazam 2, he's just done with superhero stuff for a while.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair.
I mean, if you wanted to come back, I would say
Keep the door open, yeah.
Keep the door open. If you would want to come back to do a DC property, I would say, Metal Men would be cool.
I was gonna
Mhm.
say Plastic Man.
No. To me, you need James Gunn or someone of similar raunchiness for Plastic Man.
Fair.
Dude,
Plastic Man needs to say fuck.
I'm gonna make Boingo so happy with this pitch right here.
Ooh.
Taika Waititi on Plastic Man.
Yes. That would be interesting.
I mean, his movies still made money, even if they weren't as critically acclaimed. I know you guys like Thor: Love and Thunder. I haven't seen it yet, but I know it's like a lot of people were like, "Arr."
Like, I'm not even much of a Waititi fan, and even I would go, yeah, that dude should do Plastic Man.
Oh yeah, totally, 100% should do Plastic Man. I'm trying to think of other, like, the tone of this Shazam movie. What other ones in DC could he do? And I go, it's going like,
I guess maybe if you wanted to do a more jokey Hawk and Dove.
You know what? No, it'd be good.
What?
A Flash family.
Ooh, yes.
That could work.
Get a Barry, get a Wally, get a what's the old one?
Jay.
Get a Jay. And
I'm not sure if they want to go back to Flash.
You gotta get Bart in there.
But you know what I mean?
Like, here's the thing: you're rebooting out of the Flash movie. You can recast.
Yeah, probably.
But like, I could see that kind of like family tone working really well with the Flash.
Mm-hmm. I would like that actually, because like, I mean, Gunn has said that he doesn't plan to do like a Superman family thing with Superman Legacy, but I would be into that if just the new tone for the DC universe going forward, because we know that's what they're doing with the Batman movie, is just like the big tentpole characters are about their family of characters, not just the one you've seen in a bunch of movies already.
Yeah. Also, actually, this conversation made me realize, I think this is why this movie bombed. Everyone's too focused on the future. They don't really care about the now.
Oh yeah, that's definitely what happened.
That's honestly another reason why this should have been released in December. It would have been before all the James Gunn announcement shit.
Mm-hmm. People are just going like, "Oh, this is just a stepping stone to get to all that stuff."
This is just something they have. This is just something they have to release.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised if Flash and Aquaman bomb for the same reason.
I
hope Blue Beetle does well. Really scared.
Think Blue Beetle might do well, especially because of just the immediate hype surrounding all of the trailer.
Oh yeah,
we'll get to it.
I mean, as much as we don't want to admit it, there's a lot of nostalgia money just right there lined up for Flash.
Yeah. Especially with like a lot of things.
Michael Batman.
So overall, Shazam: Fury of the Gods, it's solid.
It's pretty good.
Give it a shot. Give it a watch.
It's worth your time.
Don't write it off.
But don't expect the world from it either.
No.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was planning to give the world. I think it did exactly what it wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the second act in what's clearly supposed to be a trilogy, but it stands on its own fairly well.
Yeah.
Was supposed to be a trilogy.
I'm gonna be so mad if
we never get Mr. Mind.
I'm gonna be so mad if this stays in DC continuity for the movies and we never get Mr. Mind.
Ah, yeah.
Like, I don't care at this point. Make him the villain of the next Justice League movie.
Oh, that'd be interesting. But that is all we have to say for the film. Now it's time to start talking about some newsy news.
It's time for the news on the news show.
It's time to beep up.
It's time to walk the music. Not walk the music.
Get out the floor, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
There's no
No.
dino. You're not talking about Moon Girl yet.
Get up,
No.
get on the floor. Everybody
We will
wants to
eventually.
die.
And if you want to see us talk about the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur animated series, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Type in the chat if you're watching live. All that good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm actually all these trailers we're about to talk about are like all like stuff that I'm like very excited about. So
I'm pretty glad we were able to get you tonight, bud.
You criticize people looking into the future, and that's all you're doing, Buster.
Oh.
I do balance. I saw it. Who saw it in theaters, man? Who saw it in theaters?
Yeah, we didn't even pay for this movie.
Yeah.
You
used your eye patches and you used the black box.
The special methods that I'm quite fond of.
Special methods.
I have my special ways for my special eyes.
So first things first. Up, we have from a little James Gunn. We got a little behind the scenes featurette just of all the Guardians 3 stuff.
There's some new footage in here. There's some new bits. A lot of just actors saying like, yes, we like making these movies. James Gunn is great to work with. Please buy tickets. Because I think Gunn put this out the same day tickets went on sale. And it's fun. It's a neat little watch. Only thing I would possibly say to criticize it is I don't like that they bookended it with clips from a Chris Pratt vlog.
Oh.
I mean, hey, he's the face character of the whole thing. He's the one that...
Also, stop playing the video so we don't get copyright.
It's posted by James Gunn, not Disney.
Yeah, we're fine. It's small enough.
No, it's posted by Marvel Studios.
It's James Gunn. He didn't reblog it. He tagged Marvel Studios.
Buster, until such time the world decides to end, act as though it's going to spin on.
Okay. I saw a Guardians trailer in IMAX when I went to see the Mario movie. It looks really cool. I'm excited to watch it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
This will probably be the first movie I see in theaters this year.
Oh yeah. I'll see what I can do to get it to theaters.
I'll put in a good word for you with the roller coaster.
Yeah. But no, Guardians 3, it's really happening.
Oh my god.
What else is really happening?
It's almost over.
What else is really happening?
We'll get to the next trailer, Buster. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
The second trailer released, and it still looks very good. It's a lot of the same, but it's the good same. I like this same. This is some very tasty same right here.
Yeah.
Also, Boingo, pause before Sony Pictures gets your ass.
Sony Pictures will not do anything.
Sony Pictures released all of the Amazing Spider-Man in clip form on YouTube before the movie even came out. They don't care. What? Yeah, you don't remember that?
No, I wasn't really following movie news by the time that movie was coming out.
Yeah, when the Amazing Spider-Man movies were coming out, there was such like a media blitz for them on Sony's part that they ended up releasing almost the entire movie except for like 2 minutes as clips on YouTube through various media outlets.
But hey, Spider-Man is happening. It looks cool. I love all the spider people they're showing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Boingo, you can nerd out about your thing.
Oh, that's not till later.
Oh, no, about the Kevin Feige thing.
Yes! They
Okay.
This movie straight up says Kevin Feige's a dumbass. Earth 199999. You know, the one with Doctor Strange and the fucking it works. It's thank you.
I love that they directly acknowledge the MCU at all, but the added fact that they use the correct universe number is such a wonderful little slap in the face to Feige.
Because here's the thing. There is a Captain Britain in the Spider Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is a Captain Britain. That person knows his fucking numbers.
Mm-hmm. I also really dig that we get a name for the spider baby that Peter B's carrying around. It's Mayday. Mayday is canon, everybody. Mayday's back. Woohoo!
I'm trying to remember. I thought we already knew it was Mayday.
I'm trying to remember if Mayday is MC2.
I think that's MC2. But we knew that thanks to a character sheet, Buster. It hadn't been said in footage.
Confirm, because that could have been hinted.
Mm-hmm.
Or different plans.
Also, the spider pointing meme is in this trailer, and
It's
recreated
really well
beautifully.
done. And it's a bit
I'm
weird.
getting a little tired of them just saying like, oh, we can just rely on the spider pointing meme.
Mhm.
They
I think this
literally
is
only used it once before. And
No,
it just
they've
makes
used
sense
it.
in the way.
They've used it once in the movie. They've used it 3 times in media to promote movies.
Well, those are movie promotions. Those aren't movies.
They're relying on it too much.
I think this is a really good use of it, but I also think it would be a good idea to have this be the last use
Yes,
of it in
last
actual media for a long time.
Yeah, fair, because this is like the apex of it. It's like everyone is pointing at each other, and it's like, huh, you know? So it's like,
Only other thing I have to say is it's not in this trailer, but there was like a TV spot that was released the day after this, and guess who we finally got to see in it? My fucking boy, who I found at the stores
we saw
this
the boy
week.
at the beginning of this.
yeah,
Is he in this? I thought he was in the TV spot.
he wasn't this. He
Yeah,
was
no,
like,
no.
he was like, he was in the lunch, not the lunch, like a.
He's
like
in
a little,
a convenience store, I remember.
Yeah, and he's like putting
Yeah.
his bread
Yeah,
here.
that big Dorcas Malorcas. I love him. I'm so excited. My
Oh.
boy's getting a big screen debut.
Oh, it's good. He looked great. I love how
Yeah.
schlubby he looks.
I love that, like, I think they straight up swerved us. I don't think he's the main villain of the movie. I think he's just in, like, the opening 20 minutes, and 2099 is the main villain of the movie.
I can see that.
I also just want to mention that Scarlet Spider looks great. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it looks right out of the 90s animated series.
No, he looks straight out of the fucking comics.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like that actually motivated me to go back and read some Ben Riley.
Oh.
Oh, you poor son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know. He's endless suffering, but it was still fun.
Oh no, he's currently in the suffering.
Oh, that's right. No, you read, like, the most recent Ben Riley miniseries before everything that's been going on in the last couple of years.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
2016, 2017.
Because
Original Ben Riley is oh boy.
original Ben
Yeah,
Riley's also a lot of things.
Ben Riley is a suffering sandwich.
Yeah. Anyway, so Spider-Man, it looks good.
Yeah.
Marvel's
Looks
trailer's
really good.
getting a release date.
Yeah, apparently it's going to be coming out next week. I think they said April 11th is the prospective date. Now, this is a report from a Hollywood insider, so it's not officially confirmed, but, like, this is, again, a report from a trusted news source that is usually correct. So I would not be surprised if we get it, especially because it was rumored to be getting a trailer back for the Super Bowl, and then it got pushed back. So
Due to all the Marvel
finally be
shuffling.
time. Yeah, might finally be time though, and that would be interesting to see. I don't know. I want to be excited because I like comics, or I like the first comic book run of Kamala Khan. But the rest of the adaptation wasn't that strong, in my opinion.
I like the actress. She's great.
I like the actress. She's a great person.
I liked
as far
Brie
as I know.
Larson's Captain Marvel. It was a fine enough movie. It was fun.
Yeah.
Have we talked about Brie Larson's Captain Marvel before?
Maybe like in What If times.
Maybe.
Okay. Because I thought that movie was very mediocre by MCU standards, and I wasn't particularly endeared to her in it, but I didn't think it was as bad as people were making it out to be. But I'm also just not very excited for her to come back. But hey, it would be nice to get some more time with Monica Rambeau, I guess, because I liked her in WandaVision.
Yeah, she was great in WandaVision.
Yeah, so here's hoping the movie is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the trailer's fun to watch.
The world will be good with good movies.
That's correct.
Thunderbolt's receiving major rewrites because of Black Widow.
Yeah, they brought on another new writer this week, and according to this writer, the draft that the other replacement writer was working on has been completely thrown out because Feige or somebody at Marvel wants them to focus the story more on the characters from this movie that have been godfathered in from the Black Widow movie. I don't know why, because that movie wasn't incredibly popular. Don't get me wrong, I like Yelena and Red Guardian, but I don't know how many other people are going to be, like, super excited to see them again. So it's an interesting choice. Hopefully it makes sense and works out, but that's a thing that's happening.
As an outsider looking in, everything I hear about the Thunderbolts movie just sounds more and more disinteresting.
No, it's too focused on Black Widow characters.
Oh.
They're changing it to be less focused on them.
Okay, that's better. That's the
I'm
first
being
good thing I
hailed. Have a
heard.
conversation.
Yeah, well, I was also reading this article while we were watching Shazam, so I might have I definitely got my facts muddled. My apologies.
Yeah, you're fine.
I don't know. But
I'll be right back.
oh my goodness. What now? What do we do now, Buster?
Trying to think. Do we promote our Tokusatsu podcast?
Yeah, hey everybody. Make sure you listen to This Week in Toku, which is where myself and Buster talk about all the latest news and new releases from the wild world of Japanese live-action special effects. Oh, it's going to be a rip-roaring good time this week. We got all kinds of Shin Kamen Rider news. We got some Ultraman Blazer rumors. We've got some interesting Hasbro news that we're actually going to talk about later tonight on this show, too, because it affects Marvel Legends. But then we're also going to talk about the new episodes of Kamen Rider Geats and King Oger, and Buster won't, or Boingo won't be there this time, so it'll be just our thoughts. You'll have to go to Boingo's channel for Quest for King Oger and Gateway to Geats, but make sure you subscribe and click the bell on Modular Media so that you can listen to This Week in Toku when it drops this Tuesday.
Yeah, do the things. Do the things. Yeah.
If you're lucky, we might also talk about Dog Enders. Depends if it gets subbed in time or not.
Yeah, subs are being worked on. Don't worry, fellas.
They have until lunchtime tomorrow, because that's when I'm going to watch King Oger and Geats.
I mean, we could delay the thing.
I guess we could.
Oh, apparently a new Succession episode came out.
You follow Succession news?
No, that's because all my friends, like, mutuals watch Succession.
Oh, that's like a big boy cool adult show. That's like a Breaking Bad or something.
Yeah.
I don't watch that.
Yeah, because apparently like a big episode just aired.
Maybe it was like season finale time or something.
Yeah, it's series finale. It's the last season.
Oh my god! Hey, you want to know a fun fact about tangent?
Hello.
Hey, Boingo's back. We can do fun facts later.
Oh.
Dude, you can talk about what?
I was going to say a fun fact, but then you got back.
Hi.
Yeah,
directly reading. One of the problems is that Thunderbolt's draft was that had similar problems to the Suicide Squad had David Ayer one, in that it was too focused on the Black Widow characters who were going to be in Thunderbolts, and it wasn't equal enough for the team. It was just very much emphasized the characters we already knew.
Wow, I didn't know that the Black Widow characters were in Suicide Squad.
But it's the Suicide Squad problem was it focused so much on the characters we already had some vague familiarity with, and not on everyone.
Yeah, definitely. As I said right after you left, I literally read this article while we were watching Shazam, so that's probably why my head got muddled on the facts.
Yeah, so they're trying to de-emphasize some characters and emphasize others and just make everything equal. Make it a team movie.
So this actually sounds like a positive change. Hey!
Yeah. Morena Baccarin reveals she is in talks to return for Deadpool 3. All right, cool.
Yeah,
Copycat.
the lady who plays Deadpool's love interest. They're gonna try. They're trying to get her back. And I don't really know much beyond that because the link for discussing film source here is literally an episode of Michael Rosenbaum's podcast that I haven't listened to yet.
Yeah. All right, cool. Is Buster still here?
Yeah, just saw some really like upsetting takes on the timeline.
Focus on the show.
Focus on the show.
Yeah,
You're presenting, you're performing here. Warner Brothers Discovery merger under fire from Congress for anti-competitive practices.
Yeah,
that.
All the Warner Zaslav shit has finally made it all the way up to the chain of knowledge to the government, and the government went, "Oh, that's bad. Maybe we should do something about that." And that's about the extent of it. Like, there's discussion amongst the Senate about possibly having a hearing and getting some Warner Brothers execs in to talk to them, but nothing official yet, aside from hearsay from, like, aides and stuff that, like, yeah, there are senators who are like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, hey, nice that a thing we've all been pretty vocally upset about for months and months finally got some acknowledgement by the government that is supposed to protect us and watch out for our interests, but like it's also kind of too little too late because they have mostly patched up the holes now and they're trying to course correct.
No, I mean it can basically they can say like, no, this is anti-competitive and forcibly break up the company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can do. That's what happened to Standard Oil.
I didn't know that had actually happened in United States history once
Yeah,
before.
no, there was
School everybody.
no. So Standard Oil was basically a giant oil monopoly, and they were like, yeah, no, and they broke it. They forcibly broke it into 12 different companies. But they didn't put a provision to say that they couldn't buy each other back up again. So over the next century, they bought each other up again, and now it's like 2 companies.
Oh, sick.
And some of them failed along the way, and it's just like, yeah.
Oh, nice. So there's a very slight but a possibility that DC could become its own company again, and then just be allowed to fail on its own.
Yeah, and get bought by Warner Brothers again.
Woohoo!
So we now got the trailer for Blue Beetle.
Yeah, we talked about the fact that this was going to drop last week, and hey, it dropped right when we thought it would. And it looks surprisingly good. I'm not the biggest Jaime Reyes fan. I only know like the basics about him. I've never read one of his books. I've only seen him in like cartoons and stuff. But to my knowledge, this looks like a pretty good live action take on the character and follows all the basic story beats, and the effects are freaking gorgeous, and George Lopez is there being George Lopez, so I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
Buster, do you have any thoughts?
Gas, step on the gas.
Buster just came in with the air horn. Buster's like, let's fucking go!
Yeah.
I mean, you can. You fucking.
Oh yeah, this is a soundboard now.
You can do that with Discord now, so I might do that occasionally during the show.
We'll add some sound effects that we can use. Overall, it looks good.
Yeah.
Like the suit is really well utilized. Like there is like some like computer generation, but it's like you know they use it to like enhance it.
Yeah, and it was an actual practical suit. There's shots of the guy doing like stunts on set.
Yeah. And it's like, and everyone's been like going about this like, this looks like a tokusatsu, this looks like a Kamen Rider, and I'm like, guys,
it's almost like Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle design was directly based on Kamen Rider.
Yeah, which is a rare dead to Dio double, let's be frank.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. You mean a superhero looks like another superhero?
Oh, sick Shang-Chi reference.
Sick Shang-Chi reference. Sick Doctor Strange reference.
God damn it, nerds.
It looks cute. It looks fun. I like how
you even see glimpses of Dan and Ted's suits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess they exist in this universe, and we could possibly see them in a future movie, but I doubt we'll see them in this one.
Yeah.
I like them as like nice little teases to like expand on the lore. But
I
like,
love that the bug is actually in the movie, because I didn't even know that was a thing that like Jaime Reyes had access to. I only know that as Ted
this scene.
Oh yeah,
the
Buster
everyone's
Sword.
been gifting. Yeah, the Buster Sword
from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Friggin' Kamen Rider anime ass stance up.
Yeah.
And then the final shot that all the nerds, all the dorks, all the loser assholes got really upset about. George Lopez saying Batman is a fascist. Because that's probably just how his character feels. DC isn't literally saying that Batman sucks and is a fascist. Calm down, you panicky morons.
I mean, if they did say that, then he wouldn't be. Then they probably wouldn't be like keep making DC like Batman things, because it's like he keeps printing money. They're probably like, oh, that's not fascist. That's a moneymaker.
And
also, it seems very much of like George Lopez's character is the fuck superheroes. Oh, my boy's a superhero. Fuck yeah, you're the only good superhero.
Yeah, he's the cool uncle who doesn't trust the world but wants the best for his nephew. It looks like. Because I think he's playing the uncle. Okay. I think that's right. I'm not sure though.
I like his beard. He's really good.
He has a mullet.
Oh, yeah. He looks so unlike George Lopez, and it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, looks really good. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm glad we're going to be able to see this in theaters, because wasn't this supposed to be a direct-to-video thing?
Yeah.
This was supposed to be direct to HBO Max, yeah.
Looks really good.
It's like the best looking DC. And oh, more gas!
More gas! Let's fucking go! My Adventures with Superman, everybody! I'm gonna wear that out, aren't I?
Yeah.
So it's coming to Adult Swim.
Yeah, which
Konami?
honestly I think seems like a really smart choice because this was clearly meant to be an animated series that was a little more geared towards older fans, but could still be consumed towards younger viewers. And given like all the recent Warner Brother DC corporate shakeups, it makes sense that they would want to put this on like a later time slot and more directly target animation fans of the adult variety. I still hope it will be consumable for kids and that parents who like animation will show it to their kids, but overall, I'm just really impressed with the fluidity of the animation, and that the voices sound pretty on point. Because this is our first exposure to either of those things. Like we only had 2 stills before this for like a year and a half, and it looks pretty good. My biggest criticism of it is literally just like I don't like how busy the Superman looks. Just tone it back just a little bit. Tone that suit back just a little bit, and I'd be fine with it.
You know what? Here's the thing: if it was in live action and that was like a gradient, and not like just blocked areas of darker color, it would look 10 times better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Also, how do we feel about the S? Because I know there's been some debate around the S.
I don't mind an angular
I've seen S is stylized like that before, so I'm fine with it.
Question, because I just realized that dude Superman's fighting in this little promo. Does he look like the dude from What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way? That one dude, part of the crew?
A little bit, maybe a little bit, but I don't think they're going to do that story because I think this is supposed to be a lighter show. He might just be like a throwaway one-off villain.
Yeah.
I could see Truth, Justice, and the American Way being like a finale of something like a season
but
finale.
But like, you can like it's just more of like that guy isn't directly, but kind of like feels inspired by the dude in the
Mm-hmm.
It just generally looks so good. It's like it looks even better than I was expecting. I was expecting it to look a bit cheap. But no, this looks like this.
It looks like the American anime style.
Yeah,
and I love the flurry of announcement of this. It really feels like they just finally got told, like, okay, this is how we're doing it. You can start announcing shit, and they were like, let's announce everything because we haven't gotten to say anything in so long. Because we found out that it was going to Adult Swim, that it was going to come out in the summer, and then we got the trailer like one after the other within the course of 48 hours, and that was really fun.
Yeah. I'm very excited to watch this show. I've been really excited since it was announced, and it's like, yeah, Superman, man, he's gonna get another cartoon. A modern. He hasn't had one since the 90s.
I'm definitely looking forward to this. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with it week to week, but I do definitely want to check out the first episode when it drops.
Yeah. I love how culturally we've just like there's a turning point where everyone's just like, oh, we understand how to write Superman now.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know what? I'm gonna say something like real hoity-toity critic real quick, but I almost feel like we had to go through the teething period of the Snyderverse in order for people to understand what makes Superman great again.
Yeah.
No, I can see that.
I mean, here's the thing: we had that teething period for Superman in the '90s, and then we got the good Superman books of like All-Star Superman.
Truth, Justice, and the American Way.
Yeah. And it's like,
not even just the Snyderverse, like Injustice, The Boys, like some may argue Invincible, but season 2 hasn't come out yet, so nobody knows.
Some may say Invincible, but those people haven't read the comics and don't know the actual point of Omni-Man.
Yeah, I know. That's what I literally. That's what I said.
I know. I'm saying it more directly.
Yeah, even though we're talking about adaptation news, folks, never forget, we firmly endorse the stance of read the fucking comics.
Yes, read Smashes the Clan, read Up in the Sky.
But like we now have just people who go like, we understand Superman.
Yeah,
we understand how to make
the ideal.
We understand how to make good Superman stories.
Yeah. And I'm really hoping this show and Gunn's movie will be that.
Yeah. I'm so excited for all the new like Superman content because I feel like Like someone put it best. I forgot who, but like they said, Warner Brothers and DC, they're sitting out on a powerhouse of like Superman, because Superman, like I feel like could be like one of the biggest. Like they're not using him to the full potential they could be using him as. You know?
Oh yeah, don't forget, like a
Reach-
little less than 100 years ago, Superman was considered as synonymous with America as like bald eagles and Ronald McDonald and all that.
And Uncle Sam
Yeah.
and all. Buster, you would love the current Superman run.
I need like Action Comics or like
Both.
Solo.
Fucking Action Comics, Adventures of Superman, John Kent, regular ass, no adjective Superman. It's all good right now.
I want to get back to Man of the one where John Kent. I read the first few issues.
Yeah,
of
no,
that
it's
one.
only 2 issues, and basically they started with a brand new story. You can just jump in.
So they're relaunched. Okay.
It's the same writer, so there is a little like sense of continuity, but you can just kind of jump back in.
I do want to catch up with the John Kent one. I
But
started
dude,
with.
start with the brand new Superman. Do the brand new adventure comics. They're good.
Yeah.
They're
Adventure
really
Comics.
action comics.
Yeah, no, we're gonna talk about an issue of John Kent later tonight, though. So folks, stick around.
Stick around.
Yeah.
You too, stick around, Buster, so you can hear our thoughts.
Yeah, I'll stick around and I'll probably just
Stick around
read
as much
the
as you can.
I'll read the comics on the special site while we talk about them. So I can get an
Aquaman
idea.
and the Lost Kingdom release date moves up. It's coming up. It's December this year.
Yeah, it was going to be literally Christmas Day, and then they swapped it with the remake musical version of The Color Purple, and now it's coming out on December 20th. So it's like 5 days earlier.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Yeah, whatever.
Hooray! I still have to watch the first Aquaman. People have told me it's really good. It'll happen.
too bad
before
It
about
this
doesn't
comes
look
out.
good. It just looks like just average.
Too bad about Amanda Heard.
Yeah. Just recast it. Just fucking recast it.
Recast
It doesn't
it.
have to be a thing.
Yeah. Joker 2, director reveals new look for Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix as filming wraps. Let's look at that.
Yeah, they finished shooting the movie this week, and they just posted like, "Hey, here's some cool high-res stills of the look we're going to be marketing for Lady Gaga and for Joaquin Phoenix from this movie."
Yeah. They sure do look like a art house film version of Joker and Harley Quinn.
Yeah. I still need to watch the first Joker, but I will eventually, probably before this comes out. Don't hold me to that.
Yeah. They look cool.
Yeah.
And apparently Harley's gonna go on the stairs again.
DC Universe, James Mangold confirms he's writing Swamp Thing.
Yeah, so this had been in the rumor mill for a while, because I believe, like, Gunn said during the slate that he had a Swamp Thing project in development, and then the same day that came out, Mangold just added him on Twitter and said, "Hey, I'm very interested." But Star Wars Celebration has been going on this week in London, and Mangold was there to promote the Indiana Jones film he's got coming out this summer, and that he's working on a Star Wars movie for the not-too-distant future. And during an interview about that, somebody asked him, like, "Hey, are you doing this instead of Swamp Thing? What's going on?" And he's like, "No, I'm writing them at the same time. I'm playing both sides so that I come out on top. I've got a Warner Brothers movie and a Disney movie in development."
You know what I say about Star Wars? I don't think we should have another episode specifically for 15 years.
I agree, but also we might be getting that with the Rey sequel.
I don't mind if we get like spin-off trilogies.
Yeah.
But don't do another like big episode 10 of Star Wars for like 15 years.
Yeah, I hope the next movie is it has like a subtitle instead of an episode number. Just have it be like, here's old lady Rey.
Yeah.
Because like it was about that long between Jedi and Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And it was about that long between
the prequels and the sequels, yeah.
Yeah. It just feels right. It feels right. But yeah, cool. Swamp Thing. Neat.
He makes my heart sing.
Paramount Pictures to reboot G.I. Joe live-action movie franchise with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, so take this with a grain of salt because it's a report from a Hollywood insider.
Oh my god, a Hollywood insider.
Evidently, Paramount is working on another reboot of the live-action G.I. Joe movies because Snake Eyes completely bombed thanks to the pandemic. And they've got Michael Keaton attached to star, which doesn't seem like a terrible choice. Michael Keaton's a great actor. He'd be pretty good for some characters in G.I. Joe, but like not a lot of them, because most GI Joe characters are like in their 20s and their 30s, and like not to be ageist, Michael Keaton is kind of up there. So like I could only really see him playing like General Joe Colton or maybe Sergeant Slaughter.
No, you know what would be great if you have a double team. He's General Joe, and Sergeant Slaughter is his like right hand command.
And you get actual Sergeant Slaughter back to
Yeah.
play him in live action. Oh man, oh no! I just made myself way too excited.
And he's been a Joe for so long, and he's just like, these kids don't know anything about being a Joe.
Yeah.
I just think they should just like they should have given it some time before trying again, because the Snake Eyes just happened, man.
Oh, definitely.
Here's the thing.
They're desperate to get that Michael Bay Transformers money going again.
Yeah. And here's the thing. For all the love we can give Bumblebee, I don't think it did as well as those movies.
Yeah, it made
really
its budget back, but it didn't like.
And also, here's the thing. Having a G.I. Joe franchise is probably 10 times cheaper than having a Transformers franchise.
Yeah,
and movies.
And like I like a lot of people, this has been talked to death within Transformer circles. I don't know how much general knowledge this is, but like a big thing Age of Extinction was praised for when that movie came out was how much focus the robots were given in comparison to prequel movies, or in previous movies is what I meant to say. And then people would also bash that movie for having so much product placement, not realizing that the insane amount of product placement in Age of Extinction is how they got the money to give the robots more focus in that movie.
Oh yeah,
and
we
also,
didn't
Age
mention
of Extinction was bad anyway, so who the hell cares?
we didn't mention the blatant Skittles product placement in Shazam.
Oh yeah, that was cute. That was cute.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. I love all the little Darla moments in that movie. Darla has just been like such a joy in recent Shazam movie. Definitely one of the best characters Jeff Johns created. At least I think he created her.
Are you guys ready for the rest of the news? Because I got it all open.
Yeah, we got comic and toy news coming up next, folks.
So
finally, comic books.
Let's say a little prayer and thoughts and wishes
to
another
we've
writer.
Lost another one, folks.
Doom Patrol and New Gods writer Rachel Pollack has passed away. She was 77.
She was the writer who took over Doom Patrol after Morrison left, and I didn't even know this until the news came out, but she created the first transgender character in DC history.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is actually a fairly significant loss. Unfortunately, I hadn't heard of her before her passing, so I haven't read any of her work. I don't know anything of her as a person, but of course, it's always sad when a person passes away, and I hope that her wife is getting through the grieving process okay, and that her other relatives are as well. And hopefully anyone out there who was a big fan of her work is doing okay at the moment.
Mm.
Yep.
And no thank you, sir, but I guess I'll take another.
So sad that it's happening so much recently.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Mocklin, longtime inker and Infinity Inc. co-creator, passes away. Jesus.
Yeah. That's another tough one, because Infinity Inc. isn't a comic a lot of people talk about these days, but it was pretty important in its day.
But yeah, inker, like, Jesus. There's so many old school creative partners of comics.
We're just at one of those points in history where, unfortunately, a lot of people from the oldest generation are starting to drop like flies again.
Yep.
Anyway, let's get on to happy news. Let's get back in the groove.
Marvel Comics announced 3 new series as part of Fall of X: Astonishing Iceman from Steve Orlando and Vincino Caratu, Dark X-Men from Steve Fox and Jonah Sharaf, and Realm of X from Jesus, that's a Nordic ass name, Torun Grubek and Diogenes Neves, all launched this August.
So I wasn't like super. Oh, my hat's a little screwed up. I wasn't super blown away by this news. Like
the leak already kind of said these titles were going to happen.
Yeah, and like more X titles is always nice. But like I don't particularly love Steve Orlando. I think he's a fairly mediocre writer, at least from what I've read of him. and the Dark X-Men book doesn't like that roster doesn't look particularly interesting for me, especially with what happened with the Goblin Queen in Dark
Dark Web.
Web.
Well, let's see.
And
We got Havoc, Goblin Queen, Gambit, Archangel, a Wolverine of some variety.
I think they said it's like a specific character who was put in a cyborg Wolverine body years ago.
Oh, and Nightcrawler's dad.
Yeah. So a solid lineup, but not particularly enticing to me. However,
And I can't
will
remember
be
this one.
reading.
I remember seeing them forever ago, and I don't remember their name.
Yeah.
I think they may be a
how-
Morlock.
However, I will be reading Realm of X for obvious reasons.
Oh yeah, obvious reasons.
Yeah, pretty obvious reasons. But reasons that might be front and center on that cover.
Do any of these book interest you, Buster?
No, I'm not really like an X-Men guy at the moment.
Not even
Yeah.
Iceman, the gay X-Man?
I don't know. Iceman as a
You're
character hasn't
gay.
really clicked with me.
Yeah,
Like
I can
that.
understand it. I was more making a joke.
Fair.
DC reveals Batman 900 will include Neil Adams variant cover. Aw.
Yeah, Batman number 900 Legacy numbering is coming out next week, and DC announced a few days ago that actually one of the final pieces of Neil Adams art that has never before been seen will be one of the variant covers. They actually commissioned him to draw this like right at the end of his life last year.
It
Oh.
looks beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a good send off for him.
Yeah, it's really nice, really bittersweet. I love that it's actually original art that they asked the man to draw and he was able to do in his final moments, and it's not like reappropriated art from an old thing. It's an
Yeah.
actual new piece and it looks really good. God, that man was so talented.
My favorite part of it is it looks texture. It looks like it's on paper.
It looks like a cloth suit too. Like that's something that's kind of hard to capture in comic book art now for some reason.
It just. We'll miss you, Neil.
Yeah.
First look at Kevin Scott's Tales from the Death Star releasing fall 2023.
Yeah, this is a new Marvel Star Wars comic that just got announced at Star Wars Celebration with this little splash page of very like Ryan Stegman, what's his face, who did do a power bomb looking art.
Brian William Johnson.
Yes. And it's apparently going to be a Star Wars horror anthology, so might be interesting to check out.
I need to get back into some Star Wars books because I enjoy what I read so far of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're into toy news.
Oh boy, oh goody, oh guy.
No.
Updated head sculpts revealed for Mighty Thor, Spider-Man, and Shuri by Hot Toys.
Yeah, these figures got announced one after the other after their movies quite a while ago, but the unmasked heads were all blurred out because of spoilers, and now they've fully revealed, like, hey, here's what the unmasked heads look like. Don't they look really stinking ridiculously? You probably sold your soul to devil good.
I mean, they got the mole right. That's interesting.
Mhm.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Looks good.
looks very good.
Looks very good. We got look at him. He has a frog in his mouth.
Look at that man's slicked back hair. Look at him going out for a jog in the snow.
Look at that. Looks really good.
Mhm.
And then we got Shuri.
Oh man, this is the one that actually impressed me because I don't think Hot Toys has done a figure of her before, and God, it looks spot on from the movie.
Yeah, especially that like pensive look of like being unsure of herself. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It looks really good.
Looks a bit like uncannily real, but
yeah, that's kind of Hot Toys' trademark, Buster.
Yeah, but they look good. They look good for what they're trying to do. Marvel's Avengers Mech Strike Black Panther.
By Hot Toys. Really cool that Hot Toys is breaking into comic book figures over the last couple of years, and what a random but awesome choice to do this Black Panther costume and actually give it a transforming gimmick.
Yeah, it looks great.
Like, I never finished Mech Strike, but I do like the designs from it for the most part as, like, separated from that story. So I definitely think this is a great choice, and I hope it turns out really well and that Hot Toys collectors enjoy it. I don't watch Hot Toys reviews very much these days, but I might seek out a review for this when it drops just to see how the transformation works.
I mean this in the best way. This looks like an amazing Yamaguchi.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
SH Figuarts Marvel, Iron Man Mark 85 and Thanos 5 years later editions.
So these are ostensibly re-releases of figures that we got back when Endgame came out, but they've been updated with colors that better match the color grading of that big final battle scene. And also, Tony now comes with an unmasked head and a nano gauntlet hand, as well as Thanos coming with an Infinity Gauntlet hand.
Without
so
the
that,
gem, so you can do the scene.
Yeah, you can literally you can do the scene. You can make yourself cry with your tiny plastic action figures.
I am Iron Man.
I am Spartacus.
Hasbro bringing
And
back.
I'm Doug Walker, the nostalgia.
Fuck you.
Hasbro's bringing back window packaging for collector items. This is dumb.
This is okay. So
explain it to us, Toy Man.
I'm going to explain it to you. So for those of you who don't know, which would be very funny if there's anybody listening to this podcast that doesn't know, because we've talked about this quite a bit over the last year. Last year, Hasbro made the move to plastic-free packaging, which basically means instead of the standard packaging, which was a box with the figure being housed in a plastic tray and a plastic window in front, clear plastic, so that you could see through and see the figure you were going to be buying, it was packaging like this, an entirely sealed box. You can't actually see the thing that's inside the box at all. But it's packed inside with like a cardboard housing that holds it in place, and it's wrapped in tissue paper to keep it in good condition. I'm gonna open this on the stream soon. That's why I have it for example purposes as well. But a lot of people kind of knee-jerk lashed to this is the term I was looking for. A lot of people got very upset at them and said that it seemed like a hollow decision because they marketed it as, oh, it's plastic free, it's better for the environment. And a lot of people said like, oh, it's them trying to save money because that plastic costs them money to produce, and if they save money on that plastic, they can keep the prices of the figures down without having to cut corners in any place on the actual figure. So they're lying to you. And then they actually did have to hike prices because of pandemic economic repercussions, and people got even more mad at them. And then a lot of people, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, a lot of people have had very poor luck with people being dishonest with the plastic-free boxes. A lot of cases of people fig swapping. I don't know if we've ever discussed that term on the show, but fig swapping basically means you buy the figure, you put a figure that looks similar to in the box, and then you return it so you don't actually spend any money and you get the new shiny figure you want, and you screw someone else over because retail employees don't know the difference. And because these boxes... Yeah, and because these boxes are completely enclosed and all you really need is a sense of weight in there, there have been people flat out opening these boxes and just shoplifting the figures in the store. There have been people with the open window Transformers boxes, like pulling the heads off and whatnot. There have been people full on doing fig swaps. There have been people doing fig swaps that aren't even really fig swaps, where they'll just put like a rock or a paperweight of some kind in the box as a replacement. And as such, people have really started to back off of Hasbro's collector figures, or like get really cautious about buying things and say like, hey, check the tape on the corners, check the seals. That's been a thing I've been saying to a lot of people. Like, if you don't feel comfortable buying online, because I've seen people getting this issue from retailers like Amazon and stuff as well. If you don't feel comfortable buying online, buy in person, check the tape. That's all perfectly fine. And I feel like we had just settled in to plastic-free packaging. A lot of brands were just starting to get the hang of it. Power Rangers was still having a little trouble, but like Legends, Classified Series, Transformers, they'd all like just kind of gotten on track with it. And then Hasbro drops this news, which really feels to me like them doing a corporate knee-jerk reaction, saying basically all 6-inch collector figures, which basically means Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe Classified Series, Star Wars The Black Series, the Fortnite figures, and Power Rangers Lightning Collection.
And Transformers Red.
Yeah, are all going to have open window boxes. And I think they also said they were going to look into making carded bubbles more of a thing, which might explain this, which I've ranted about several times on the show. Like this might be an early indicator of just what Marvel Legends packaging looks like now, is a card that's designed off of the media it's representing and then a bubble. Which I'm not super thrilled with. I like that they said in the press release the plastic they're going to be using for bubbles is going to be more easily biodegradable. But still, it's kind of amazing how the internet and toy collectors basically bullied a major corporation into backtracking on one of the few good decisions they've made in recent times. Because I think they did it for that, and I also think they did it for like investor financial reasons. Because as much as I'm a Hasbro cheerleader, Hasbro really does need a W right now because their stock has just been plummeting all year. The D&D movie had mediocre box office returns, and oh yeah, all the shit with the rest of D&D that's been going on this year. Hasbro's in kind of hot water, and it makes sense that they would do something like this. Doesn't mean I'm happy about it, but like if it'll stop people complaining about it every fucking day on my timeline, I guess it's okay.
By the way, if you want to hear some more thoughts about all the D&D bullshit that's been happening recently, tune in on Friday. We'll have a certified D&Der.
Yeah, Pan Naps, the dear wizard VTuber boy who loves D&D, is going to be on components this week. So
Yeah.
tune into that, folks.
I dislike that they're going like it. Like that was one of the few things that I was like, yes, Hasbro, good job.
Mm-hmm.
Plastic, get rid of as much plastic as you don't need.
Mm-hmm. Buster, do you have any thoughts on this?
I'll say them on Twit.
Okay. Hey, before we move on, everybody subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. I do live toy unboxings, and I'll probably unbox these sometime before the end of the month. I'm waiting for a thing to come in the mail.
How've they been doing? How've they been doing for you, bud?
Not the best, but good enough that I don't totally feel like stopping yet.
All right, cool. Hey, guess what?
What?
New Marvel Legends Avengers 62-pack.
Yeah, this is the next round of pre-orders for the 60th anniversary program. This time we've got the Grey Hulk and Dr. Banner 2-pack, and we've got the Monica Rambeau and Secret Wars Doctor Doom 2-pack. And yeah, these look pretty good. They look about as good as they did on that live stream. I like how gangly and wormy this Bruce Banner looks and how classic he looks. I like the new head sculpt on Grey Hulk. And they're fairly solid. And the Doctor Doom and Monica Rambeau are really good representations of those costumes.
Yeah.
However, I have no need to own any of these figures personally.
I wouldn't mind that just because this is straight up their Secret Wars costumes. This is what they were in Secret Wars.
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of 40-somethings getting very excited about the Secret Wars costumes getting Marvel Legends representation. And I mean, this figure is pretty good for the simple fact of, yeah, there we go. Doctor Doom unmasked head.
Yeah,
and it looks really good. Oh man, it looks great. And I think there's a picture.
Like a nerd.
That's what Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom's a big pompous nerd.
Yeah, fair.
Also, I think, I don't remember if I saw it or not, but I think somewhere in these photos, they literally recreated the cover pose from that issue of Secret Wars where his armor's... Yeah, like on the box there, you can see he's doing the cover pose from that issue of Secret Wars where his armor's all torn up.
Yeah, and he's like fucking cursing the gods. It's... Oh no, they're both doing from Secret Wars cover issues.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's really good.
Isn't that nice? Somebody get that box to be mask.
Yeah. Marvel Legends Scarlet Witch exclusive reveal. Look at that. It's
yeah.
Scarlet Witch.
This is a Target exclusive Multiverse of Madness Scarlet Witch that is basically just a re-release of the Disney Plus WandaVision Scarlet Witch with updated face printing and the Darkhold. She comes with the MCU Darkhold as an accessory.
And her fingers are painted.
Oh yeah. So if you missed out on that figure the first time, or you really specifically want this look from Multiverse of Madness, I guess, seek this out, but like I didn't want the figure the first time around, so it doesn't super excite me to get it again. It makes sense, but also like, hey, Marvel Legends team, as long as you're doing more Multiverse
Scarlet.
of Madness,
Uh,
as long as you're doing more Multiverse of Madness figures, where's Pizza Papa?
Where's the Pizza Papa?
Pizza Papa needs to get paid. Pizza Papa always gets paid. Get us Pizza Papa so we can pay Pizza Papa.
Also,
Also,
where's contemporary Scarlet Witch?
oh yeah, we need that comic figure.
Then we have the. Is this a leak of what the Skeletons looking for? 89 Batman 112 Collective.
I mean, it's technically a leak. So we talked about this a few weeks ago. The Mezco 112 Collective 1989 Michael Keaton Batman finally released recently. And after a few weeks of it being out, we finally got somebody who was willing to just fucking tear it apart to see what the articulated skeleton underneath that rubber body looks like. And I just find stuff like this neat. It's cool to see how that articulation is laid out and realize, like, it is literally just a frame holding together a rubber skeleton of a figure. From what I've heard on in-hand reports, the Michael Keaton figure feels pretty good, and it doesn't feel like it's gonna degrade anytime soon, as rubber tends to. But also the photos don't look super enticing to me. Like it doesn't look super accurate to the movie. Something about the texture of the color of the actual suit looks off to me. But the people who actually bought it seem to be fairly happy with it, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about this, Buster?
I don't know.
Enthralled. Our guest is.
Buster doesn't care about toys.
McFarlane Collector Edition.
I do when they're characters I care about.
You don't care about Batman? Is this just a new line from McFarlane?
This is a weird, vague announcement they made of they are doing this collector edition thing. We don't know what the fuck it means. It's like these are going to be figures made specifically for collectors, targeted.
Wait a minute. The
Go ahead.
Spawn logo. It's gonna be a Spawn thing.
Buster,
no, that's the logo from McFarlane.
McFarlane logo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because remember, Spawn is Todd's whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, the post is basically just Todd going like, yeah, we're starting a new collector line where our figures are going to be more targeted directly at collectors. The collector edition is going to be something that all you collectors will want to be on the lookout for, especially if you like your figures nice and sexy. So definitely keep an eye out for those. Yeah. And that's literally all they said. They said this is a new line that's coming. They didn't say if it's Spawn. They didn't say if it's Mortal Kombat. They didn't say if it's DC. They just said this is a thing they're doing. So we got to keep our eyes out for it.
Yeah, we got.
But here's another thing they're doing.
Page punchers for Dark Knight Returns.
How fucking weird is this? That they're
this
trying.
This feels
to
like a hate crime.
They're selling because this line is meant to be here's cool simplistic action figures and a comic book to help get comics into kids' hands. And you're giving them figures of The Dark Knight Returns, which I know it made its way into plenty of young comic book fans at the hands at the time, but I don't think it's a great story to hand to kids as like their first comic book story.
Yeah.
This is a weird pick for this
His
line,
nipples are orange.
Are they in the comic? I don't remember.
I don't know, but his nipples are orange.
Let me look that up real quick.
Are the super mutants' nipples orange? Either way, it's on to the next news. Hey, TMNT New Mirage.
They're shaded, but they're not orange. They're just like a darker color than the rest of his body. Oh no, I see. I just found a panel. They are literally orange.
Oh, NECA's making original Mirage Comics April O'Neil.
Yeah, TMNT tends to, or NECA tends to announce new TMNT stuff every Tuesday, and they said this past Tuesday that for the month of April, all their announcements are going to be themed around April figures that they have in development, and this was just an announcement of, hey, we're doing a Mirage Comics April. Here's the design sheet for it, the brand new design sheet of it that was done by Kevin Eastman. They literally hired Kevin Eastman and said, like, hey, we're doing a figure of your original April O'Neil design. Sketch it out for us, what you would imagine it should look like as an action figure. And he was like, okay, here you go. And so they posted it, and looks neat.
Looks neat. We're going to get an OG April.
Yeah, nice.
And we're gonna have a bunch of fucking idiots bitch and moans like, why is April a person of color? Because she was always a person of color.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully NECA will make the right choice.
Yeah.
NECA, I'm watching you. I'm
NECA?
watching you, Randy.
How do you feel, Buster?
Very exciting. I hope NECA makes the right choice too.
Yeah.
We're watching you, Randy.
Yeah.
Also, like, I'm looking at the, like, if we can circle back a bit, I was looking at the page punchers, like, because that's an interesting concept for a toy line, and I was looking at the lineup. This lineup sucks.
It does.
I'm sorry.
We've said that repeatedly whenever we talk
repeatedly.
about this line.
Yeah, this lineup sucks. No kid is gonna like any of these
It's
books,
the
except for
epitome of
maybe
great concept, stupid execution.
Yeah, I think the only good one is, like, Batman Rebirth, but that's, like, half good.
Because that's like a recent story that's done in one and is extremely good.
Yeah. Everything else just feels, especially the Flashpoint stuff. And also, why is the Batman Who Laughs in this line?
Because because you see, the Batman Who Laughs is really popular with the kids these days who already read comics. So I don't know why we're making action figures to market to people who don't read comics of him. But the people who do read comics, they'll just literally buy anything Batman Who Laughs because he's so sexy. So I guess we gotta get in there. We gotta get him in all our lines. We gotta make as many Batman Who Laughs figures as we can because he's just so sexy.
I just thought of the worst combination. Hey, Buster, imagine if Todd McFarlane and Tommy Tallarico had a company together.
Oh my god.
Who the fuck is Tommy Tallarico?
Watch the Oof.mp3 documentary, the H-Bomb documentary.
Okay.
Put it on your watch list. You will enjoy it.
It's in there. We'll get to it.
Hey, it's comics time, baby.
Oh,
Hey, we're gonna talk about new comics on the fucking comic book podcast. That means I have to retweet our retweets on the Modular account real quick.
Okay, you do that real quick. Well, I start talking about Rogue and Gambit #2.
Hey, I decided to skip this because I just wasn't feeling the first issue, but I'm interested to hear how it went.
That's totally fair. It's a fun book. It was fun. Basically, Rogue and Gambit are stranded in a place and they're trying to get back to the thing that they need to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
They find a bar and like they walk in and they're going like, oh shit, are they gonna be anti-mutant? Are we gonna have to fight because they're racists? And they just look at Rogue and go like, hey, weren't you an Avenger? And they're like, yeah. Holy shit, you saved the world! Let me buy you a drink.
What's Captain America like? Tell me.
And it's adorable, it's cute. Meanwhile, Gambit's being an absolute bastard.
Oh.
Like, he starts a fire to distract them so they can run away.
Hey, Aki, welcome to the show.
Hey, we're talking about comics now. We're talking about Rogue and Gambit. It's cute. It's fine.
Is Black Panther in this book?
Black Panther legit shows up and goes to Rogue and says, like, Rogue, what the fuck are you doing? We're both Avengers, and you just jeopardize a lot of shit. And she's like, oh, whoa, ho. And that's when Gambit did the whole thing to, like, help them escape. Like, yeah, that's the whole point of it.
Nice.
Great cover, though.
Yeah, really nice.
I also read Don't Spit in the Wind.
Oh, is this new or are you
backtracking? New indie.
Okay, I completely missed this. Tell me all about it.
From Mad Cave Publications. Okay, so post-apocalyptic Earth. Most people are living in a satellite surrounding Earth and send a bunch of poor saps to the ground to basically clean it up slowly and surely. We follow the people who do. It's just really well done. Like, look at that art. That is some gorgeous comic art.
That's very Boingo art right there.
Yeah, it's just really good, like, indie apocalyptic media.
Nice. I might check it out when the second issue drops then.
Yeah. I read the second issue of Orcstain. It's continuing the weird, surreal sci-fi fantasy adventures.
Oh, nice.
It gets fucking weird.
Of course.
Because the one-eyed dude gets to, like, his partner's so-called buddy's penis cut off.
Oh,
Like, that's a regular punishment. You get your Gronk cut off. That's what they call their junk. They're Gronks.
they have a bunch of Rob Gronkowskis between their legs.
It's fucking it. It is. Hey, do you like the weird, surreal, edgy parts of heavy metal? Here you go.
The Boingo core, then.
Oh, it's very Boingo core. It's great.
Nice.
Like legit, the leader of the gang is a J. Jonah Jameson takeoff.
Okay.
Like he's smoking a cigar. He has a mustache.
Mm.
It's great. Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Hey,
a lot of my books
going?
got front loaded. I'm sorry. That's what I'm trying to be quick about it.
What's good old Frankie boy up to this week?
So it seems like there's multiple Cosmic Ghost Riders going on right now. And okay, because the one that was in the Old West Saloon is helping the girls whose dad just died. He's trying to help her out. And then we have the one that was in all white, and he's doing stuff over there. And like it just feels like they're all going on their own little adventure, and they're gonna meet up sometime. But it's fun. Bounty hunters abound. It's big cosmic sci-fi western. Yeah. I Am Iron Man #2.
This is another one I dropped because it just wasn't holding my interest with the first. I didn't even realize that it was supposed to be a series at the end of the first issue, honestly.
Yeah, well, each one seems to be like its own like one and done mini adventure.
Okay.
And this one, Tony Stark's doing some things. He lands in the bottom of the ocean and he's trying to get out. He's trying to like grab something, and all the while he's talking to a giant sea creature that can talk to him.
How very Marvel Comics-esque. Also by Buster. Everybody check out Buster's content at Buster Corp on YouTube. They make videos about tokusatsu and anime and comics sometimes, and they're also on Twitter at Buster Bluey Free.
Yeah. All right.
Buster just dips out sometimes. You got a deal.
Yeah.
You got a deal.
Adventures of Superman, John Cannon. We both read this.
Peak fiction time, baby.
I heard some complaints about something, but we'll get to that.
I thought everything about this issue was really brilliantly done. Like they actually surprised me with how well some things were done in this issue. Like I thought it was going to be like an arc before we actually got to Ultraman. But no, just right away in this issue, John says goodbye, and then bam, he goes and fights Ultraman, and it's incredibly cathartic and interesting to watch.
See, I saw some complaints of like that it felt too quick, that they wished there was a little bit more to the fight.
No, I could definitely see that. You definitely could have made this fight last 2 issues, or maybe even 3. But I also think that wasn't really Taylor's intent. Like, this has been marketed on it's the return of Injustice Superman. So it makes sense that Ultraman is just a vehicle to get to Injustice Superman as sort of like a dark mirror to hold up to John and say, like, these are John's principles as a character compared to this other character that Taylor is really known for writing. And I'm gonna say it. This might be a hot take, but I think this is a brilliant use of the Man of Steel kill.
Oh yeah. Hey Buster, you're back. We're talking about
also,
Superman.
like I didn't read the John Kent Superman, but I did read the basic Superman, like the Clark Superman one that's been going on, the first 2 issues of that, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Yay, we agree. But yeah, no. I love that he shows up and just immediately he feels right on point with the original way Taylor wrote him. But the art's not great. I don't like how the Injustice Superman costume looks in this art style.
No, but I do like his face.
This is Injustice?
Yeah, no, they're meeting the Injustice Superman.
Because remember, Tom...
No. He's meant to be a bad guy.
What you feel about the Injustice game. Tom Taylor made his name writing the Injustice tie-in comics, which were way better than they had any right to be.
I'll try them eventually.
I'm not telling you to go read them. I'm just saying you need to understand the context that, like, this is something that people would be excited to see.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And also, it is an interesting, like, way to just go, like, hey, this is an interesting use for evil Superman, having the son of Superman look at what his father could be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
It's just we've had so much of that oversaturation. Like,
Oh
Yeah,
well,
but-
the interesting thing was like the minute and Justice Superman sees John Kent, he just breaks down in tears and goes like, "You have your mom's eyes."
oh, that's actually pretty
Because
emotional.
remember, the whole reason Injustice Superman happens is because Joker kills a pregnant Lois.
Yeah,
Which I don't like that concept, but like they made the rest of the book was so good that I was willing to forgive it.
yeah.
I think this is going to be an interesting take on Injustice Superman.
Mm-hmm.
But the book is good. It's fun.
Yeah.
Lois,
R.I.P.
Red Tornado.
R.I.P. Robot Lotus.
Yeah. Overall, solid book. We also both read Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty.
I feel like this was a fairly good ending to this arc. And like there's some cute stuff towards the end of it.
Yeah.
But it still has all the same problems I've been having with this book recently of just like it's a little overcooked and some of the art feels like way more epic than it really needs to be, especially because they make the point at halfway through this book when they beat the bad guys and they leave of like, this is only a small victory. Bucky's gonna come back and he's gonna raise some hell. Read Cold War, everybody. And I'm like, all those fucking 2-page spreads and this was only a small victory? Cold War better be some serious shit, bro.
Yeah. I don't mind that. I like the MODOK fight. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they're all like, "Oh man, for Roger."
Yeah, it really sucks what happened to Roger.
Yeah. And I like them all having a barbecue at the end with Steve's friends.
Yeah, and friggin' somebody actually saying thank you to a superhero in a comic for the first time in like 40 years or something.
Yeah.
And
Steve's
Redacted
son.
might. Yeah, Ian shows up right after Steve and Sharon agree to go steady again. Ooh. We're gonna get a proper Captain America family book for a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
I hope.
And right after Ian left the other Captain America book. So great synergy there.
Yeah. And also Redacted might get a name soon.
Oh yeah. No, I think Redacted said Roger. Didn't he?
He said, "I'm exploring what it might be like to have a name." He didn't say what name he was going with.
Should we be using he/him pronouns for Redacted?
I mean, it's drawn very stereotypically male, but I guess you could say it's a they/them because it's an artificial construct without genitalia.
Without like the concept of gender. Maybe we'll know what Redacted's gender is afterwards.
Yeah. Somebody should ask the writer of this book point blank on Twitter or at a convention, what is Redacted's pronouns?
Yeah. Redacted's a cool character. I like them. I think they're cool.
Oh, yeah.
Is their actual name redacted, or are you keeping it spoiler free?
No, their name is literally open bracket, redacted, closed bracket. Is the way it's written in the comic.
Because the idea is that it's a secret, top secret thing that no one's supposed to know about. Literally redacted from the history files.
Very interesting.
So that's why that's the only name they have for it. So it's Redacted.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good name for like a Captain America side hero, you know?
Yeah.
You read Love Everlasting.
Yeah, Love Everlasting, number 6, the latest issue in Tom King's current indie book. And yeah, this is another really good one.
A lot
folks.
of indie books this week.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us we're realizing we need to expand our horizons.
Kind of pushing the format forward with this issue, where this whole issue, Joan is constantly going like, okay, I know how this goes. I'm gonna meet a guy, and I'm gonna love him, but then something tragic's gonna happen. I'm gonna meet another guy, and I'm actually gonna fall in love with him. Let's just get this shit over with. And like, there's several points in the comic where like it's a full page spread, and the narration gets all flowery, and it leads into like the classic comic book title. And she's like, okay, the comic's over now, right? Oh, we're gonna keep going? What the? Okay. Oh, we're doing engagement stuff now. Okay. I'm actually gonna marry him. Or okay, this can't fucking be real. This can't be real at all. I'm gonna get in my car and drive away and see if I can make the cowboy show up and shoot me. And then the cowboy does show up, and he's just like, "You make a beautiful bride. have a nice life. And he walks off, and she just gets super fucking pissed. And then she's like, well, I guess there's nothing else I can do. I gotta go back home and be married to this dweeb I just married. All right. And it just kind of ends off with her being like, okay, what the fuck comes next as she gets into bed with him for the first time? Very, very interesting, very haunting and chilling at several points, while also dealing with this very sweet and saccharine subject matter in a way that explores a oft forgotten part of the comic book medium. Really, just every nice thing I've said about this series so far is still present. I'm really enjoying this book.
Nice. Is this going to be a 12th issue?
I have no idea. I think it's actually finished. If you go subscribe to Tom King's Substack, you can read the rest of it, but I'm just waiting for it to come out in physical.
Yeah. I think that writers are starting to explore other comic book genres and weirdo indie stuff.
Yeah.
Here
we go, everybody. It's time. It's time. It's fucking Spider-Man time, baby!
Oh!
Okay. Hi. So
break it down, Boingo. Break it down, bust it down.
So Wells has been leading up, doing all this work and heavy lifting, going like, oh man, Spider-Man fucked up. Spider-Man ruined his relationships with everyone, and everyone hates Spider-Man now, and we've been waiting for 23 fucking issues to learn what the fuck did Peter do.
What did he do, everybody?
Why is everyone pissed at him? Okay, so, last issue, he was in a fucking alternate dimension. He got trapped there with Mary Jane because of fucking Aztec math. There they met Paul. Paul is also a math guy who fucking figures out shit, and they make a device to send them back. And Peter's going like, oh, we gotta save Mary Jane. And Mary Jane's like, okay, whatever. And Paul goes like, but Spider-Man has to go because if he stays, the fucking Aztec god will get his power and everything will go haywire and destroy everything. And Mary Jane goes like, all right. She slips the thing onto Peter's body and he gets sent to the reality. He gets sent to the real world, right?
Yep.
He's falling through the air. There's a lot of energy. It blows up the ground, and Peter's just on the ground, beaten up, right? He gets up. We're now in this issue, right? He gets up, strips down to his skivvies, buries his Spider-Man costume in the middle of the crater, and starts hitchhiking his way back to New York after stealing some clothes. Okay? This isn't even the worst part of it.
Oh my god.
So, he gets to New York, and he hears some people talk about the date. And Spider-Man goes like, we were in there for a week, and it's only been a couple hours? Oh my god, there's time dilation. I gotta get Mary Jane out of there fast! Right? It's been months, weeks now for her. So Peter Parker goes to the Fantastic Four's building, and he tries and get to talk to Reed, that get Reed's help. And the only people there is the Thing and the Human Torch, and they're going like, whoa, hey Pete, what's wrong? And Peter's like, no time, I got it, where's Reed? And they're just like, whoa, Reed's doing something. And Peter's like, just let me into his lab. And he goes, whoa, we can't let you do that. Why? Because we were told to keep you from doing anything. Because they found your costume buried in the fucking crater. So Peter just fucking beats up the Thing and the Human Torch and runs away instead of explaining anything. So he's running all over New York, and he runs into Captain America.
Did Toshiki get away with this show? This book?
Then he runs into Captain America. And
that's an insult to Italy, and you know it.
I'm talking about his Kamen Rider work. It's not his Sentai work I'm talking about there.
He runs into Captain America, and Cap goes like, hey man, slow down. Why don't you explain all of this? And Peter's like, I don't have time to explain. And they have a fight, and he knocks out Captain America. He never once just says the phrase, Mary Jane's in an alternate dimension with weird time dilation. Time passes faster there. We need to help them. Which everybody would hear that and go, oh yeah, no, cool. Get in the lab. Right? Because they've been through that. They've dealt with this. And so the only person he can rely on is Norman Osborn. And that's when the fucking issue ends. And just, dear God, this is the dumbest thing ever. For everyone to be pissed at him, it's so fucking dumb.
They literally, it sounds like, it sounds like they literally just said, let's just do one more day again. Let's just have Peter act like an irrational asshole and piss off the whole superhero community again. Yes. For no reason other than to set back his status quo a fuck bunch to please editorial again. Really, just like... I'm not even reading this book, and I'm getting like secondhand nerd rage over it. So, just fantastic job, Marvel editorial team. As always, you folks are just amazing at how you make Spider-Man work. Way to go.
Like, how long did it take for me to explain, oh yeah, this weird time dilation. I just need to get the people out of there fast.
Mm-hmm. And if we're nerds who are just observing this universe, we don't actually live in it, think how much more simple it probably would be for the people actually in that universe to understand that.
Like, ugh. And the big thing is, it's just like, Peter, why the fuck did you bury your costume? Why did you do that? Why did you incriminate yourself more?
You couldn't have found an alley or like made a web backpack? Or, like, I don't know, called the Avengers or the Fantastic Four for a fucking Uber.
And here's the thing. The immediate thing, the Human Torch and Captain America all goes like, oh, we gotta stop Spider-Man. There's, like, we can't have him running around anymore. It's not like we have experience of him doing, like, fucked up shit happens and he's trying to solve it. It's not like we have a line of trust with Spider-Man.
I just say... Spider-Man looks like he's being like crucified in that cover.
He is. I mean, he's being crucified.
Spider-Man is perpetually being crucified by Marvel editorials at all times since like the early 2000s, or no, the late 2000s. Excuse me.
It's just why.
And you can put that on a fucking trade as a review quote too, Marvel. I'd like to see that.
I'd like to see you try.
And you know what the worst part is? The worst part, it's just now people are going like, oh man, I miss Nick Spencer.
But wasn't it like the first
Holy fuck. How? Oh my god, that just shows you how bad this book is that people are saying they miss Nick Spencer at all.
Because remember when we were in the Nick Spencer run?
Mm-hmm.
All the vitriol and shit everyone had for it. Ugh.
How worn out people got with it by the end, as people tend to with Nick Spencer books.
Wasn't like the first few issues pretty good?
Oh yeah, no, people were thrilled by the first few issues because he did the very simple task of making Peter and Mary Jane a couple again. But then he really overstayed his welcome and kept getting more and more up his ass and dragging things out.
And then editorial wouldn't let him do the retcon he wanted to do.
Yeah, he did he ended up doing a half-assed retcon, which I think is what got us to this point, is like all the bending of the rules he did have snapped back in Wells's face. This is Zeb Wells, right?
Yes.
Okay. I keep getting him and another writer mixed up. So
but Jesus Christ, why you gotta do this, Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
How can a company make so much money yet fail so bad?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe they should just hire somebody who's worked on a Sony movie to write the Spider-Man comics.
They get the writer for Morbius.
Damn fact. Boingo.
Like,
oh my god, Aki just said something that gave me actual fucking psychic damage. People are now nostalgic for one more day.
I'm gonna end it.
I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna kill myself, and it's all Joe Quesada's fault.
The worst thing is, I can see Wells actually. He could do a good book. I can see a good Spider-Man book. It's just all the fucking details are just
Yeah.
This feels like it was
Everything that you've
real.
told me since I stopped reading Boingo really sounds like this book is just bending over backwards to sniff its own farts at this point.
Yeah, it's just ugh.
Like, it feels like it's specifically designed to get people on Twitter talking in a bad way.
You know what the worst thing is? There was a tweet by the editor for the Spider-Man books
Oh.
when Mayday was shown in the Spider-Man Spider-Verse trailer. And he was like,
Oh.
"Oh, hell yeah, it's Mayday, she's great." And someone just was like, "Then why isn't she in the comics?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like he quote tweeted it as like some snarky comment, and it's just like, you fucking son of a bitch.
It sounds like this is just a bunch of Eric Bischoff types running the fucking Spider-Man books now, going like, "Ugh, controversy creates cash."
I mean, Spider-Man's been one of the more well-selling books recently.
Maybe comic books are actually bad. Maybe this whole podcast was a bad idea.
Oh, Vac, did you just read Saga?
Hey, why don't we read some good comics? Batman number 134.
Yeah, number fucking 899 legacy number. I thought this was real dang good.
This was real dang good. The twist was completely obvious, but it was real dang good.
That's a funny looking man.
Well, it's been a few days since I read this. Remind me again what the twist is.
This is an alternate universe version of the Joker.
Oh yes, that's right.
Come on!
It was an alternate universe Bruce who faked his death for a long time, but no, he's an alternate universe Joker who never actually went crazy and just became like a stupid asshole who runs an underground Arkham. Also,
yeah,
Ghostmaker's here.
Yeah, but he saw through reality and saw the Joker, and he was like, "Oh man, I could be the Joker? Fuck this shit! I'm gonna make everybody in my reality insane."
He's what if the Joker was a Joker fan on Reddit?
Yeah.
I'm so tired of this damn guy.
No, here's the thing. This is an interesting way to do a Joker story without doing a Joker story.
There's just too many of them, man.
This is more of like, what if Hugo Strange was a fan of the Joker?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he doesn't like
just
do
make him Hugo Strange.
He doesn't do Joker-esque shit like Buster. It's fucking Batman. The whole point of the character is you can do him numerous different ways and it still works. So like the same should apply to his rogues gallery.
I guess, but like use different rogues. I'm so tired of the darn Joker.
I mean, Ghostmaker and Catwoman are in this book.
Yeah. And it's
like Toyman is in the backup.
Yeah, and technically he's not the Joker. He's Red Hood.
But
he does have a red hood.
No, that's what he calls himself.
Yeah. And Todd is definitely making a figure of this next year.
Oh,
actually, it might be out in time for Christmas, knowing him.
Yeah. But overall, good book.
Yeah. I fucking hate Tim's new costume in the backup, but I think it's just it's just for this arc, so I'm not going to get super upset about it.
He goes into another reality and talks to his mom one last time, and it's like,
yeah, that was real sweet.
And then he goes into the Batverse, and you see all the different Elseworlds Batmen.
Mm-hmm. I like that they didn't do the obvious thing of have him go, "Oh, by the way, I'm bi. Are you okay with that?" It's just like, no, it's a boy and his mom having a nice little moment. You don't need to go into like, "Hey, this is a thing with the character now. We need to remind you of this."
Yeah. But overall, this is good. It's also just like an interesting... You know what this alternate world is? It feels like it's a meta commentary Zdarsky's doing on the entirety of the Batman stories that's been happening recently.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you mean the big important thing?
Is this Zdarsky's first arc?
Yes.
No, second.
Oh yeah, because it was failsafe, and now we're in this, and the last issue of this arc comes out next month with issue 900.
Yeah. But basically it's like, oh, the underground, the foundations of, Gotham City are all corrupted by Arkham, and all the villains play second banana to the guy whose twist is the Joker, and it feels like this is Zdarsky kind of like pointing a finger at what Batman has been recently, and just kind of like, look, this is what you've been this is what Batman's been dealing with in a cosm.
This is the rut we've been in for the last few runs. Let's see if we can get out of it after this, probably.
Yeah. Especially with Failsafe being a direct counter argument to the Batman has contingency plans for everybody, Bat God plan, prep time Batman thing.
Yeah.
Which is it's basically Zdarsky going like, this is I'm breaking down Batman, building him back up.
Mm-hmm.
You get Kevin Smith the right Batman.
The Batman.
The Fat Man. But good issue. Good Batman.
Yeah.
You read Saga.
Hey, Saga number 63 came out this week, and guess what? It's real fucking good. I love Saga a lot.
Is she working at Amazon?
She's working at Space Amazon, and it is literally like a straight
Saga
up...
takes in space?
It's a fucking space opera. How did you not know that? That's like the
I
number
thought it
one
was a
people...
fantasy opera.
It is a fantasy space opera.
It's
all those
I thought it was just on one fantasy. I didn't know it took place on multiple fantasy.
Oh no, they've been to like at least 2 or 3 dozen planets.
It's like Star Wars. Series.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, this issue is literally like she's showing that Alana's current day job is working at what is ostensibly Space Amazon, and it's even worse than regular Amazon because she's literally going behind a wall to piss into a grate. And there are fucking wraiths flying over them and checking on them and making sure they're having a pleasant day and keeping up with their quota at all times. And her coworker, okay, Buster is actually gone this time, it looks like.
All right.
So follow those links I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But her coworker is like, well, if you don't want to stay here, you could always get work on a ship. And she's like, yeah, I could, but I've got kids, and I don't really want to be away from them for too long. And the coworker is like, oh, well, I'm sure a ship any good ship would be able to get them work too. And she's like, fucking, I'm trying to keep my kids away from like the horribleness of the universe for as long as I can. And they're like, all right, well, suit yourself. And then one of the space wraiths flies over and is like, so what kind of ships would you recommend? Like that's how bad of a situation they're in. Because remember, they're literally homeless right now. And we also have like a B story with Hazel and Squire going up to the lady from a few issues ago and saying like, hey, you can bring our dads back to life. How do you do that? And she explains about like this magical type of meteor dust that is very rare and costs a shit ton of money. And Hazel is like, oh, I can steal that, no problem. I've learned to steal in the time between the time skip and whatnot. And so they go and try and do that, and Hazel nearly gets killed by a big fucking lion cat, and then Squire just completely dispassionately blows it away in a moment of like, oh, remember, Squire's kind of fucked in the head, and these people are not doing the best.
They need therapy, but they can't afford it.
Yeah. Also, the B plot, or the C plot, I guess, is Gwendolyn and I'm trying to remember her fucking name. Sophie. Gwendolyn and Sophie go to meet with the King Robot. And King Robot just sends an ambassador, and there's a bunch of legal grandstanding, and no one is happy. So like all that, oh shit's going down next issue that they did when we last saw them was all for naught, because that's the way politics goes sometimes. Yeah. Oh well. Really good issue. I fucking love this book. Just fucking read Saga. It's good.
Good. We both read Immoral X-Men.
Saga on these nuts. Aki, you're going to get a copyright infringement lawsuit from Buster on that one, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is pretty good. Not quite as good as previous issues, I thought, but I still enjoyed it.
It is we are definitely getting into the weird biomechanical sci-fi universe that Sinister developed.
This one's also just a lot more moody than the last couple issues because he's actually trying to fix things now and in a position to do so. But doing that is an uphill battle, and so a lot of shitty things kind of happen to him throughout this issue.
I love the framing of like there was an Exodus schism, so
Mhm.
now there's Protestant Exodus.
And there's Exodus Sentinels that are mutually assured destruction for each other.
It's fucking great. I love it.
Also, Rasputin holding to her principles and being like, "Oh, you're trying to reset the universe, not save it. Fuck you." That's nice.
Yeah, and Sinister
We need
like,
more Legends of Rasputin.
Yeah, I'm Sinister immediately going like, God damn it, I made her too nice. I made her too pure.
And then finding out that Destiny was a helpful all along. Destiny wants to help, but it's not gonna work out probably.
Oh, I do not know how Sins of Sinister is gonna end.
Yeah, no. This book has been going places. This has been some crazy times. And is this the last? I'm gonna check
this is the last Immoral X-Men.
Yeah, we have another issue of Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants, another issue of Nightcrawlers, and then Sins of Sinister Domination comes out at the end of next month.
Yeah, the Omega issue.
Yeah, so be interesting to see how this wraps up.
This definitely feels like a contemporary version of like Age of Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just like, here's a different world with all these different cool characters and costumes.
Maybe you'll get action figures of them in 20 years.
Just to kind of live in the moment. Like, honestly, Hickman era X-Men feels kind of like a, let's play all the hits of the X-Men without playing the hits of the X-Men.
Yeah, let's take those ideas and let's try and do them in a fresh way.
Yeah. Which is nice. That's also just a banging fucking Exodus design.
Yeah. Oh man. I would say I want a figure of that, but also those robes. That's just, the articulation's gonna be impossible with that.
But yeah. Immoral X-Men. Also, fucking Emma Frost as Red Diamond.
Oh yeah!
It's fucking great.
Just straight up supervillain Emma back in the house.
It's so good. I read Venom.
How was that adrenaline momentum?
Hey, guess what? Ewing's also doing more things to completely rewrite and make us re-understand the Marvel Cosmic Universe.
So at this point, Venom is just DC Swamp Thing, right? Like, there's the one really celebrated run that everybody knows about and, like, radically altered the character, but also every fucking run does that, and just nobody knows that because they only got really excited for the one run that one time.
Yeah, because this is also doing some interesting things, and it's directly because of Donny Cates' run. Like, it feels effortless. Okay.
And before anybody leaves a comment or types in the chat, I know fucking Man-Thing exists, but he doesn't get nearly as much focus as Swamp Thing or Venom does right now.
Okay, so Eddie Brock is in this pit void talking to a seemingly mystical effigy of a hand kind of thing. All right. And it's weird, cerebral, all this kind of stuff. And the hand goes like, hello, Eddie Brock. You have 5 questions you get to ask. And they have a conversation. And Eddie goes like, all right, the fuck is happening? And the hand goes like, oh, there's a lot of different little things are happening, so on and so forth. But like, essentially, when Eddie Brock became the King in Black, he became an omnipresent, godlike figure. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that means he can be weird and unstuck in time, and he has complete possibilities. So, here's the thing. The King in Black is a position. It's not just what Noel called himself and what Eddie calls himself now.
It's gone from being like, oh, Optimus Prime was just a name to like now Prime is a fucking rank and it means something within the hierarchy of the Cybertronian race.
Yes, so the King in Black is a part of the cosmic makeup of Marvel. So, to give an example, like they use this in the book, to give an example, there is magic users who use light magic. like Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer Supremes, that they use magic outside and above reality in itself to affect reality. Okay, and then there's people who use dark magic. They use magic within the reality itself, within the earth. It's dirty, it's messy, and it can be darkness, but it's not inherently evil. It's just not light. It's the opposite. In the same way, the movers and shakers of reality as a concept follow a similar suit. So there are people outside of reality, outside forces, who build and maintain and work on the conceptual idea of reality. The Beyonders. And if there is the Beyonders, then it would go to point that there is someone inside reality who is a part of it, who molds it and shapes it and molds reality. Now, what would that be if we were to look at reality as an engine? The people outside are tinkering and messing with the engine. The thing inside is dirty, it's messy. It's the icky black goo of the engine. That's what Eddie Brock is now. He is the oil of the engine to keep things running of reality. That's what the King in Black is. Okay?
Okay.
And Eddie Brock immediately goes like, fuck you, I didn't ask for this. And the Hand responds, yeah, neither did Null. Why do you think Null was an evil bastard? Because he hated this. And he hated all of it. He wanted to tear it all down because he didn't give a shit anymore. When the Celestials came, they came with a job offer. They wanted to work with him to build reality, and he was like, no, and destroyed and killed. Like, he was a bad King in Black. You can be a good one. And Eddie's just like, fuck you, I didn't ask for this. None of this is too much responsibility. I don't deserve this. It should have been Spider-Man. And the Hand
Eddie, you might want to take a peek at what's going on with Peter right now.
If we're going by the classical Spider-Man, but like he says, it should have been Spider-Man. And the Hand goes, yeah, Spider-Man would have been a perfect King in Black. Basically going, hey, yo, you thought we wrote Spider-Man out of this whole thing? No, cosmically, Peter Parker should have been the King in Black. He should have been through all of this. That's why the symbiote
happened, and it happened for a reason.
And it's so good. And so basically, Eddie goes like, all right, so why... So what is all of this? What are we doing here? What's the whole point of all this? And he's like, all right,
cool. I mean, what are we really? I mean, we hang out, we like get meals together, we watch movies together, we fuck. Are we boyfriend, girlfriend? What's going on?
And so basically, Eddie goes like, all right, so what's the whole big twist? It's like, okay, so you aren't being... Okay, so just like you're worried about becoming Meredith, the big guy who's been like tormenting you the past couple... The storyline, he's worried about becoming something else. Okay, what is he worried about becoming? Oh, he's worried about becoming me. I am inevitability. I am the end result of all your life, Eddie Brock. I am Eddie, too. You've been talking to yourself. Yeah, so... That's the whole deal. You just gotta have to deal with the fact that you're a fuck up and you're never gonna really be present in time because that's what the King in Black is. But I can help you, this Eddie, this part of your life, get back to Dylan, and we can solve this and be a big old hero. And that's where the issue ends. And it's like, you rewrote Marvel cosmology, but it makes sense? And it's what you've been doing with Venom since Donny Cates?
You know, Boingo, it seems like every other week you say that somebody completely rewrote Marvel cosmology. I think you might have to do an update to that lecture pretty soon.
I will, eventually. But like, think about it with Donny Cates of like the Enigma Force, where he went like, oh yeah, the Enigma Force is like a light version of the Venom symbiote. And now it's just like, oh yeah, no, if like if a singular symbiote is like the Enigma Force, then the entirety of the King in Black system is like the opposite of what made the Enigma Force, the Beyonders. And it's like that fucking logically tracks. Venom's real good, guys. Venom's really good. Ewing knows how to write a comic book. I also read Stillwater.
Are you caught up yet, son?
No. You remember the kids? They're a little bit more fuckers than we thought they were.
Nice.
So before all the shit went down with the courthouse and burning it down, the kids went to the Marine dudes and said like, hey, yo, your buddy fucked you, because now you're going to live forever, but in old-ass bodies. Isn't that fucked? And they're like, yeah, it is fucked. And they're like, the kids are like, all right, cool, help us take over the town, because we want to make this fair and equal. So basically, we see a town meeting where all of the kids are now in control. And like, the main kid that we've been seeing talks to the judge and goes like, hey, you know what? You're still a part of this. So, what are these people's judgments? And he goes like the normal ones, and it's like, oh, buried for like 3 weeks, so on and so forth. And the kid goes like, fuck that. That's barbaric. We're going to be nicer than you. And they continue the meeting without punishing anybody. And it's like, oh, okay, I can see where this is going. And they develop a plan of basically the kids with a member of the community get sent out into the real world, so they're allowed to grow up, become adults, and then move back into the town. That's the plan. It's like, all right, cool. You get to grow up now and then come back and we all get to be immortal.
Neat.
Yeah. And what was the other thing? There's another bit. Oh yeah, they revealed like the whole pushing in the first issue was a plan. They wanted to keep the guy in town. It was planned the whole time.
Damn.
But it's good. Good. We both read Wolverine.
Holy fuck, this book is so good.
AKA Beast the Fucker.
Benjamin Percy? Is that his name?
Yeah, Percy.
And the ongoing saga of just Beast going full fuckboy. Like, we've said it a million times, but it's been fantastic. This issue might be a slight step down, only because just the way this artist draws all the Beast and Wolverine clones is unintentionally hilarious at some points. Like, I posted that one panel of all the Beasts looking over the mission report, but then there's also, like, there's a moment when the Wolverines are sneaking up on Maverick, and you can just see, like, Maverick's talking to two of his goons in the submarine, and in, like, one of the portholes, there's just a Wolverine going, like, and I straight up laughed out loud at that.
But yeah, no, we see Beast's full plan of being the dude on the outside, just killing people.
Mm-hmm. And also Charles goes and dumps a friggin' Wolverine, Wolverine goes and dumps a friggin' Beast body right in the middle of a quiet council meeting and is like, fix this shit! And then Charles just reads his mind and is like, oh, fuck. Oh, golly gee, buddy. Oh, darn it.
Okay, we'll fix it immediately, Logan. Whoa, shit. What are you going to do? I'm going hunting. And it's just like, oh!
Mm-hmm. And then everybody's looking at Emma like, explain, please? And she's like, I don't think you guys want to know.
Don't worry, Wolverine's got it on lock. Yeah, well, Al Ewing seems to be the one guy who's, like, really tapped into, like, understanding Marvel cosmic shit and, like, expanding on it in an interesting way.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is good. I'd rather, I'd rather someone interested in it work on it than not. No, this book was great. This fucking Wolverine takes a minute to get started, right?
Yeah. But you gotta be reading Wolverine and X-Force right now if you're an X-Men fan at all.
And, like, goddamn, just the cold, calculating nature of the Beast this whole time.
I love that there's a distinction between him and the clones too. Like all the clones have the slicked back hair he's had recently, but he's gone back to the full like beast puff. And that makes me go like, all right, Marvel Legends team, I need this beast and I need it to come with 2 different heads so that I can army build this beast.
Oh man, and I love the how Beast is like, all right, I can't let the other beasts think they can be better than me, so I gotta be weird and aloof.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh man, so good. This cover is also amazing.
Oh yeah.
It's just so good. I read Scarlet Witch.
Hey, I did actually want to read this. I just didn't have time. How was it?
It's pretty good. Basically, the reason Darcy needed the Scarlet Witch's help and the reason why she's being hunted and chased is because she basically, you know how some shitty writers write the Amazons as like super extreme radical feminists of
Yeah.
like men are evil and
Out of my way, sperm bank.
and that kind of shit. Basically Darcy was a journalist and she needed a break bad because she like got fired from a couple jobs. So she thought, all right, I will fake a sexual assault so I can like tase the like the person I hired to get in their good graces and join their like group and then write an expose on them.
Bruh.
She was desperate. You can understand that.
I mean, kinda.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. But like also the people she was infiltrating were like the ones that go like all men must die.
Mm.
And so she was like trying to like break out, get away. And they caught and realized, oh, she tricked us, everything. And so they tried to kill her and everything just started going to shit. And she walked through the door. And well, another member from a different group, it was like, all right, they may have been extremists, but like they were still sisters, so I need to avenge them, so I need to kill Darcy. And she's trying to kill Darcy, and Scarlet Witch is like,
God, is this literally just the Amazons from Why the Last Man?
you know what? Yeah. And Scarlet Witch is like, this is all bullshit. Fuck you.
Nice.
And she teleports her away. And Darcy goes like, look, I'm sorry. I fucked up. I really fucked up. And Scarlet Witch is like, yeah, you fucked up. But look, you can make it up. You can do better.
We're friendos. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And it's like, that's not the end of this. It's still going on. Like, they only temporarily got rid of her. The person who was trying to kill Darcy.
This is... Okay, it sounds to me like this is the ongoing plot of the book, and this came to the forefront for this issue, but it's going to recede back into the background for a little bit.
It very possibly, but it's a good issue. It's a good Scarlet Witch.
Who she's going to be talking to next time? Who came through the door?
I don't remember.
Did we get a hint of that?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I read Ghost Rider.
Jesus fucking Christ. That is just a 90s trading card right there.
This is so good.
Are there goths in this? Aki, there's goths in every issue of Scarlet Witch.
Yes, Scarlet Witch. There's goths in this issue too. Because Johnny Blaze has a new goth girlfriend.
A new one, or is it the same one?
It's the one from this run.
Okay, yeah, okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, she's new in terms of Marvel Comics. So, they're going around, they're looking for information about what's happening, and they realize, oh shit, it's a Ghost Rider who's doing it, but it wasn't Johnny. And the goth girl's like, yo, could it be your brother? And he's like, I don't fucking know. And then we have a flashback where we meet up with Donnie Ketch.
Nice.
And he's like doing his thing. He's living his life as best as he can. And this woman comes up and goes like, hey, have you played the video game Doom? See, I want to combine science and like demons.
Wait, did they literally say Doom?
No, they didn't. I'm using that as a shorthand for like, she is a scientist, but her twin brother, when she was a kid, got possessed by a demon. So she also has a fascination with the occult. And she wants to study the occult in hell with science.
Okay. It's you, so I had to check.
Yeah. And so basically, they're putting Weapon X like technology on Donnie's Ghost Rider, and that's what we're getting out of it. And then he shows up at the end in the flashback, and then next issue, meet off, bouncing off each other. It's gonna be great.
Ooh.
It
Okay.
is a lot of like really good album art.
Nice.
That's what this book is, with some good plot, good horror plot. You read The Flash.
Hey, The Flash, number 794, the final installment in the 1 Minute War saga. And it's basically what we all thought it would be. Like, this is one of those points where the ending of a big storyline is exactly what you expect it to be, but that's no reason to be upset because it's perfectly logical and it works. Wally gets a ride from all the people on Planet Flash, and they're allowed to get back into DC continuity via that. They show up as like a big cavalry thing and help save the day during the final fight. Wally and Barry team up to beat up the Fraction and send them back in time to before any of this happens. And the Fraction fleet way off in the distant universe is like, oh, one of our fleets just randomly disappeared. That's weird. Yeah, I'm sure they'll catch up to us. Whatever. We got other stuff to do. It's fine. And then in the present, Iris is back alive because they altered the past, and Wally goes and says, "Yes, I will marry you." Big old smooch. Ooh, happy times. And speaking of happy times, we see the West family getting back to their big old barbecue that they were doing at the beginning of the arc, and Bart goes off and joins Johnny Thunder to try and get back to the future again. Um, yeah, that's pretty much the 1 Minute War done, and I think overall, it maybe wasn't the most epic or crazy or world-altering event storyline ever, but like it was a really solid Flash storyline, and kind of feels like it should be the ending to Adams's run, but we got a few issues left, so I'm interested to see how this run wraps up in the lead up to issue 800.
Nice. And that is all the comics we read this week.
Woo! We did the comics on the comic show, everybody. How about that?
Hey, Vac, I want to
Hey.
tell the people where they can find you.
Hey everybody, I'm Vacuuminator. I do all kinds of stuff right here on YouTube.com. I do weekly opinionated rant videos. I do shorts that are like clips of my older videos. I do the occasional stream where I unbox toys and hang out and chit chat with you in the live chat about whatever you want to talk about. And you can find all that over on youtube.com at the Vacuuminator. You can also follow me on Instagram for daily action figure photography. That's at the _Vacuuminator. You can follow me on TikTok for my shorts, but just upload it to TikTok with captions added at the _Vacuuminator. I'm also on social media. I'm on Twitter at the Vacuuminator and on Tumblr, thevacuuminator.tumblr.com.
Hell yeah. Hey, howdy. I'm the Boingo Writer. I do a variety of content on the internet. I post videos on YouTube. I have a weekly review show of Kamen Rider Geats. I also make other content. It's coming, don't worry. And I also stream on Twitch every Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Give or take when I announce things. Yeah. I also post on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Boingo_Writer, and I post on the Tumblrs. Come follow me on Tumblr at Boingo-Writer. And this has been Modular Media's No Prize Podcast, the podcast where we talk comics, movies, merchandise, and more. We also have several other podcasts, including Analytical Fanboys, a monthly media cast where each of us picks a piece of media, we watch it, we talk about it, and the process goes over again. This month, we're leading up to it was out already. We're leading up to Mobile Suit Gundam 8th MS Team.
An animu.
Yeah, it's an animu. We also have Components, which is just kind of a hangout session. It's just us chatting, chilling, relaxing on a Discord call, and we record it because we think we're funny.
Hopefully you do too.
Yeah, we also have Twit. You want to tell the people about Twit?
Well, I already did that once this show, but hey, if you like Tokusatsu, if you like Power Rangers, if you like Kamen Rider, if you like Super Sentai, if you like Ultraman, if you like the fucking Doug Engers, listen to Twit. It's a good time.
Nice. And hey, if you want to watch any of that and support us, give us a like, give us a comment, subscribe to the channel to see this podcast, and many more. And on that note, Vac, do you have anything else you want to say?
This is the first drink of alcohol I've had all year, and I was not prepared for how strong it was going to be. My mom literally randomly gave this to me because she was just like, "Hey, I'm not going to finish this. Do you want it?" And I was like, I'll either have it to take the edge off one night, or I can use it for a gag or something." And oh God, did I not know what I was getting myself into? Woodford Reserve Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Good product, but product you better fucking mentally prepare for.
I mean, you did use it for a gag.
Yeah, just the laugh wasn't the one I was going for.
Enough said.